Hello. We're watching more Star Trek. How's it going? What's going on? How's the weather? What you doing today? We're gonna be watching 4 episodes today, so that should be fun. Because there's a 2-parter in there, Redemption. The first episode's gonna be, in theory, It's Okay, and the others are amazing. Redemption and Darmok.
Oh yes.
Darmok and Nardwa.
I didn't get to do my yelling. You didn't say that this is the 30 seconds. Come on.
Well, you need to keep up. Yeah, for YouTube members, I added the Darmok emote, _Ryan Darmok, or you can just click on the little emote button. It seemed appropriate, given that we're watching Darmok today. I still have one more slot, I don't know what I want to do with it. I have things I can add, but they either need more work or they don't seem great. But then I can always just replace them at any point. You're not stuck with
You should hold a vote.
Hold a vote?
Mm-hmm.
I could do. Members only poll on the channel. Let's see, what do I have? Let me just...
I'm sure you'll come up with something, Ryan. I mean, like, you don't lack any creativity, because your things have been really funny lately. The intakes. Specifically the Patreon ones.
Didn't I only make 1 Patreon intake? I think I just have the 1.
Yeah, but that has cursing in it, so that's really good. I recommend everybody subscribe to Patreon and watch it.
Cause yeah, that was a season 1 TNG intake, because the season 1 outtakes are really, really low quality. So I feel weird about putting them on the channel proper. I probably should, just for completeness' sake. But for now, it's just sitting on Patreon.
You can just make the HD stuff look terrible.
I did. That is what I did. I don't feel terribly happy about that, but there's not much I can do about it.
I saw a post on Reddit the other day of a guy who was watching the original, not original, but the TNG episodes on a Trinitron, a 32-inch Trinitron. If you don't know what that is, that's an old TV with actual glass tube and everything.
I'm not sure why you would do that, but they did it.
Because that's what they were made for.
Trinitrons were made for Star Trek?
Yes, exactly.
No. They were made for a 4x3 standard definition television, is what I mean.
Oh,
we have remasters now. They're higher quality.
Yeah, but there's less nostalgia. Also, fewer 300-pound televisions, but
Well, horses in a town were meant for roads, but we have cars now, so we don't use horses anymore.
When was the last time you saw an abacus?
Last Tuesday.
Okay.
My hipster accountant uses one.
I want one.
I don't think I would hire an accountant that legitimately is an abacus. That sounds like a recipe for failure.
No, I owe so much in taxes every year. I need to make a switch.
Alright, 1 minute to start. Everyone be queued up to TNG in theory. That's season 4, episode 25. In theory.
It's 92% remaining.
Hurry up.
Damn it, hurry up.
One of our members is absolutely not illegally downloading the show because the streaming platforms are broken. That's not what's happening at all.
90% of my Netflix subscription has gone through, and I can't,
Exactly.
No, I'm just on the family subscription. Or as part of the family thing. Just running it.
The Ryan's Edits YouTube channel does not condone torrenting Star Trek episodes.
Unless you earn them yourself. If you earn them yourself, I don't see any issue with it.
Alright, about to start. Everybody get ready and press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
Dang it.
By the way, this episode was directed by Patrick Stewart and the first one to be done so. So, go Picard.
The Amazon trivia agrees with you. Modifying photon torch. Where are they? Oh, this is the Oh, what is this set? Where are they right now?
It's an interesting set.
Well, this is
Why don't
supposed to
they
be
use
the
this one?
torpedo facility, whatever this would be called.
It kind of reminds me of the Pegasus, where they, like the back half, they put a big rock wall there.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's pretty, by the
We
way.
won't get that till season 7.
She has a pretty name too. Jenna.
Now, I'm looking at the Amazon X-ray. It's like, wow, she's old now. Wow, Patrick Stewart's old now. Wow, Brent Spiner's old now. Look at how these people have pure white hair these days, except Patrick Stewart, of course.
You said this episode was just okay. I think we get superbly fine android acting from Data.
And we get
when he goes,
Well, it's Brent Spiner, it's always superb.
you
It's
are
not
not
that
my
it's bad
mother.
acting, it's
You
just that
cannot
he's
tell me what to
creepy.
do.
He's
Yeah,
he's not
look.
creepy. Like, he is far less creepy on this woman than this show can be about women. He's just weird.
Look,
Which is kind of
okay.
as expected. Like, that's the whole point.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
I wanted to say this like a couple of shows ago, like a few months ago, but somebody got upset, and then they're not here anymore. But I often think about when I read something about writing a script or a play, and the hard thing you have to learn is that like the plot always has to be moving forward with the dialogue or the cinema. That's what a good screenwriting is about. And so, for example, if you think about an old black and white movie from the 50s, right? Somebody's driving a car, it's a rainy night, they get stuck in the mud, they have to sleep over in a nearby house, that house is haunted, So it's like the plot is always narrating, and you can imagine the story moving forward at every point of the script. That's good screenwriting. So I often think about what would plays or TV shows be like 100 years ago. Let's say like a TV show would be in a theater. And so I'm getting to my point, is that Data, right, 100 years ago, if you were to put TNG somehow on a theater play with in the Ford's Theater or something, Data would be an autistic child or something like that. And so it took me a long time to figure that out. And so that's why he acts a little bit weird, because he doesn't get the social cues and social gestures. But it's great.
Data's an archetype. It's this outsider archetype, like Spock was, like 7 of 9 is. You see it a lot in science fiction, really.
Yeah. Definitely.
This is completely unrelated, but you reminded me of it.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about plays like 100 or 200 years ago, I had a teacher in college. I don't know if I even want to call him a professor because I kind of hated the guy. But
Oof.
he went on this lecture about how people in the past basically didn't have any imaginations whatsoever. So like if you asked them a hypothetical, they wouldn't even be able to wrap their minds around it. They wouldn't be able to comprehend the concept of a hypothetical situation.
Wow.
He gave a whole lecture about this.
Not-
Like, what are you talking? Have you ever seen
a thing.
their plays?
Ring World, like 1960s or something?
Well, he was talking about like 300
Earlier
to
people.
like ancient Greeks era.
Ancient Greece has given us some of the most basic plots that we still use today.
The ancient
okay,
Greeks
but
who
let me-
are very famous for their playwriting, and Shakespeare, who is very famous for his playwriting.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
Jesus
from India.
Christ.
And India has the largest movie industry in the world, right? Bollywood. And so, but science fiction never took off because people don't have that imagination to think about like, oh, what if they're on a starship cruising through space? So, I mean, there's one science fiction show about aliens.
That is entirely different from what his professor was saying, though. Like, saying that humans do not have the capability for imagination is different than they don't have a conceptual basis to form something like science fiction.
Like they
That's
haven't
true.
thought about spaceships because they don't know what space is.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
There's so one of the things is I was listening to a podcast earlier this week about just general stuff, and they were talking about sleep paralysis and how in the like 60s, shortly after there was a radio play about alien abduction, people started
Oh yeah.
talking about being abducted by aliens. It's just suddenly right there. It just appeared in history because that was not an idea that had formed in the public consciousness before.
It's like a mass hysteria kind of thing. Well, I was going to say you could align science fiction, particularly science fiction, as it relates to space travel. You can align that with the invention of flight, the space race program in the 60s. Like all that stuff accelerated because people started looking to the sky.
Right. Yeah, and the whole connection to sleep paralysis is that one of the side effects of sleep paralysis is that, not side effects, one of the symptoms, I guess, is that you start like pareidolia in your brain. I don't know if you know what that is, but like essentially recognizing shapes and forms that are biological, especially faces. Starts your brain floods with adrenaline because you can't move, and you start seeing all this crap. So people started seeing aliens from just in the darkness of their room and imagined they were being abducted.
Since Roswell, especially.
Always have faces.
Right.
Right, but they all saw the grays, it was kind of interesting how, like, they all looked the same with the big eyes.
It looked like it wasn't a radio play. I said it was a radio play. It was actually an episode of The Outer Limits.
Yeah.
But they all looked like the alien that was on that episode of The Outer Limits.
But Ronald Moore wrote this episode, and obviously we went later to DS9.
Yes, executive producer. Also went on to make Battlestar Galactica reboot. Currently working on a show called For All Mankind, which is an alternate history about the space race to the moon.
Is that any good?
I have only watched the first episode. It's okay.
The Russians
haven't watched very much further than that, though.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So where did Chief O'Brien get enough socks in the first place to make a half-meter high stack? How did this happen?
Replicator, baby.
He just keeps making socks.
Yes.
Rather than washing them, he's lazy.
It depends on what kind of socks they are.
Hey, you can't always find someone to play darts with, so you got to do something.
If they are of a certain function, they might be stiff enough to stand up on their own.
By the way, guys,
have observed that you have an aversion to orderliness.
When a woman grabs your arm like that, she really likes you.
I mean, but if she has an aversion to orderliness, I don't think it matters, because you can't date someone who has an aversion to orderliness. Also, I think this is the same nebula that they hide from the Borg in.
It's a dark matter nebula. But
dark matter's invisible. That's the whole point.
Yeah, this episode was a romance episode. It was not a hard sci-fi episode.
They have magical sensors that can detect dark matter now. Gosh.
They did send a burst into it to illuminate it, but it was already visible before they launched the first torpedo.
Yeah, IMDb trivia says it's recolored from Wrath of Khan.
Okay. The torpedo bay?
No, the nebula.
The nebula, yeah.
Yeah. The Mutara Nebula.
It always helps when the flow rate is better. That's why you should try Metamucil.
Or
have you tried prune juice?
It's a warrior's drink.
It'll affect your flow rate.
She's leaning against a multi-megaton warhead right now.
I think it's a probe at this
point.
Maybe it
doesn't have antimatter in it right now.
Yeah.
But why isn't she doing her job?
It's not armed right now. It gets armed when it's fired.
It's
essentially
something.
True.
Oh God,
it's essentially a modern day torpedo where it gets armed when it's fired, sort of thing, and it only arms a certain distance away from the Enterprise. So it's completely harmless otherwise.
To not go with her ex-boyfriend,
right?
And then she starts falling for him.
We know that's not true, Data.
But I want to say something because Dr. Soong, he went through multiple androids before he finally got with Data. In terms of the sense that Lore was evil, and I think basically it's very hard to come up with a robot that's going to be innocent, childlike, and not malicious. It's kind of implied.
Law became evil because he was too human and got rejected by the population.
True.
He was too human in his emotions, so the rejection caused anger and led to him wanting to annihilate them.
So wait, was Lore the Uncanny Valley?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
I was just thinking that. Totally, he was. Yeah.
Oh, do you agree with Jenna here? Do you think Data is very handsome?
I do.
Yes.
I plead the fifth, Your Honor.
Brent
And by the
Spiner
way-
cleans up nice.
He is very sweet too, by the way. That's what I was trying to say. He was, but you're right. Laura wasn't born evil. He kind of became evil. But I don't think Data has that capacity, emotion chip aside. Data is very sweet and childlike. So that's why. That's why he's.
I mean, Sin probably made some adjustments to make
why
it
he's
less likely to happen.
chick magnet.
Oh, that drink looks disgusting.
It's a space drink. Wow.
Wow.
Wait, what did
It
you
is
just
green.
pour
It is
together?
green.
One of those looked
It's
like
Poured a
orange
blue
juice. I
thing
don't know
with
what
like
there was.
some orange.
Romulan ale
it was-
spiked.
Yeah, it looked like Windex or something. But yeah, that looks disgusting. No, don't drink it.
Yeah,
It's
you don't
Data.
like.
He's going to be perfectly fine. I don't know why she's having Data drink it to try it.
Yeah, it's
Because
true.
the audience needs a reminder that Data does not actually experience this stuff.
Oh, Sorry and Brandy, which was appeared in the original series. Targ milk. Okay, they're just being comedic here.
Why is there no one else here? Don't they have like shifts?
They never have anyone in 10 forward when we're in the nebula.
Right.
Everyone's got work to do.
Hey, they found a dark matter nebula. Okay, they better be working round the clock.
I think
That was
in this
not very
case,
passionate.
it's essentially all scientists. Well, a lot of them are scientists, so they will be wanting to study it as much as possible.
Yeah.
Intrigued. That's not generally the reaction people go for.
Not fascinated, huh?
Nah, he's not Spock.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you're bad mouthing your coworkers now, saying they don't know enough
Season
about the dilithium
4?
matrix application.
We do get Spock
Data
in a
still
couple of
doesn't understand
weeks.
simple phrases of speech, simple turns of phrase. Like, come on.
This is why I've said in the past that he's faking this. He's faking all of this. He's 26
absolutely
years
is.
old. He's 26 years old. He went through the academy for at least 4 years, maybe, and he has been serving in Starfleet long enough to be a lieutenant commander. He knows all this shit. He's just faking it and fucking with people.
I think his
Did you
Starfleet
just
career
swear
is
on my Star
26
Trek
years.
stream?
Because in the
Twice.
Redemption episode, when he's given command of the Sutherland, he says, "I have a 26-year-old career in Starfleet." So he joined he's also an officer for that long.
Yeah, and in that episode too, he demonstrates that he gets all this stuff because he yells at Hobson.
Yeah, he does.
He's like, "Mr. Hobson, blah 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 blah." And it's like, "Oh,
You will
Data's
be
angry."
relieved
No,
of
he's not
duty.
angry. He's just putting it on because he knows people respond to that.
Yeah.
Well,
But
we
if you
know from
attempt to
evidence in
ignite
episodes
the
that he does
petroleum
have
product on the
emotions.
engineering deck.
But here's the secret, kind of, right? Like, even for emotionless characters like Spock and Data, for a human audience, you have to have human expressions because you can't just have somebody be wooden. Like, Spock is smiling when he's playing the harp in one TOS episode, and it's like, why would he smile if emotions are illogical? you know?
Because Vulcans do have emotions. They just pretend they don't. They don't even suppress them. They just
about
pretend. It's ridiculous.
the episode.
Spock's half human. Stay
Did
woke.
Jenna just break into Data's quarters and trick the computer into not realizing it?
Yeah, it
No,
looks
no,
like
no,
it.
this
Things
is
have
the
been
B
moved
plot.
around in his quarters.
Yeah, it looks like it.
It's the other plot. It's the mysterious space. There's like
Yeah.
holes opening in the hole, and it's going to cause problems later.
Oh, is this the episode where someone's gonna like phase halfway through the floor and it's horrifying?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Well, in a couple of weeks to get to see Spock back.
Yeah, we'll see Spock soon enough.
Not next week, the week after.
Yeah, I completely forgot that there was a B plot to this.
It's the next generation. You can almost guarantee there's a B plot.
Romantic liaison.
Jordy is the worst person. Yeah, that's some good advice, Jordy. Ask someone else for advice. Do not ask. Completely useless for this.
Do you think?
We see.
Do you think Jenna knows that Data is fully functional?
I mean, Tasha's not going to tell.
Tasha probably talked about it. Yeah.
It's a nice plate of rocks she has. They're very nice rocks. Very smooth and shiny.
Do you think they're the emotional connection that you see in Enterprise?
But probably between who and Enterprise, like Trip and T'Pol?
No. So there was an episode where Trip got pregnant.
Oh no!
That's a terrible episode.
I mean, I really liked the first part of it where Trip is like going through the thing of breathing new atmosphere and trying to interact with an alien culture. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one with the rocks, where he puts his hand in the rocks with the lady, and she transfers him a space baby through the rocks, as you do.
Someone in the chat's like, Jordy says, "Have you tried making out with a hologram of her?"
Yes. Get some good
Dream canvas. Good call.
Okay, I'm glad they didn't go there.
They don't go there until 2003.
That's like an Orville plotline.
Geordie does make out with the holographic version of a real person. And then meets the real person.
Yeah, but they don't go there again, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is the guy you talk to for advice. For real.
I feel like Riker wouldn't really be good at... Well, I guess the question is Data looking for just a fling or a romantic, actual long-term relationship? And I feel like if he's going for long-term, Riker is the wrong person to talk to.
Yeah, I think he'd still have some advice on like, okay, if you're gonna go in that direction, do this, don't do this.
Well, at this point anyway, he eventually has a long-term relationship with Deanna.
Yeah, he's been in relationships.
On the bridge.
Yeah. I'll get side pieces all over the ship, but whatever.
Yeah. When I was 18, I was asking everybody for romantic advice too, and not all of it was good.
Shocker.
Picard's advice would generally consist of... I mean, Picard has interesting taste in women, I should say. He dates a literal criminal and grave robber, primarily, then a science officer.
No, that's happened by this point. But that is an interesting thing. It's a funny gag that Picard doesn't have any experience. But Picard has had some experience, like we've seen with that criminal.
He has. It's just...
And then he has a wife in another lifetime with the Resican flute. And
he didn't choose that. That was forced upon him.
Like an arranged marriage.
It's a part of him, though. Like
it worked out.
Yes.
There was also the person who made the Inner Light.
Part of a program. That's part of how his brain works.
made a comic later on, the Outer Light, and I haven't read the whole thing, but I glanced through it and it just seemed awful. The sequel to the Inner Light. It was about how.
Wow, that title is not a good sign.
He found like a cryo ship with survivors from that planet, including his wife from that reality.
Oh, okay.
His wife from that reality actually had a husband, and then there was like a love triangle thing going on.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it sounded promising sounding. I mean, that's kind of an interesting concept, but if it's going to just be a boring old...
It would make sense to be said by 1/3 there, but 1/3 standard lux would be the same amount as a candle light, or a third of a candle light, in fact.
Hang on, I have dimmable lights. Let me adjust to 1/3 lux.
Standard lux might not mean one
Kevin.
candle.
He said by 1/3, but yeah.
Nice seeing you.
Maybe standard lux is 1100 lumens, and so 1/3 of 1100.
Actually, yeah.
Oh, Picard hasn't had the Resican flute yet, so he can't tell him about that. So never mind.
Oh yeah, 1 lux is 1,000 lumens. The lumens is the candle light. So it'd be
you want to make a
300.
woman
Lumens.
swoon here. You tell her you wrote a subroutine for her. That's the
I like the arms around her. That was like a crooner kiss, old yellow.
That was very like Bogart or something.
Yeah.
You make a joke, but I have legitimately made programs for people before. I have done that. I have written subroutines for people.
Have you kissed anyone with your arms around them? Because that's the real clincher.
I mean, not at the same time that I was programming, but it was for people I was writing.
Just fell through the table.
I just realized what episode this is.
Were you calibrating warp field parameters while kissing someone?
No, I'm just remembering a particularly horrifying scene that we're going to get later on.
Yeah. Halfway through the floor.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a tonal mess.
I think for our culture today, like 2021, if you kiss somebody and put your arms around them, it'd be like a hug and a kiss at the same time. It will come across very awkward. Why are you hugging me?
Yeah. Like, you can't leave.
Do people not hug? What's wrong with the hug?
What I think it is, though, it's like that kiss when you lean her all the way back and then like you hold her at the same time, like that sailor photo. But which, by the way,
I was just thinking of that. Yeah.
Which, by the way, somebody tracked down the woman, and she says, "I didn't even know who the guy was, and he was just found out the war is over, so he like grabbed me and kissed me, and I didn't agree to any of it, and I'm just a nurse." So that was like a forced kiss, which is one of the most iconic photos of all time.
I mean, I'll play devil's advocate and say, one, it was a different time. Two, we had just ended a world war, so kind of a special circumstance there. I'm sure if she was seriously offended, he would have apologized. He was just very excited.
And maybe she slapped him afterwards.
The thing about that there is that it's under the table, and they assume, hey, intruder. When if it was an intruder looking for something, they'd be off the table, but not directly underneath it.
Yeah, good call.
No, obviously the intruder just very carefully picked them up and put them down directly underneath where they were, and then tipped them over and stuff.
Diabolical burglary there.
But she reads like the rule of manners to him, like when your girlfriend walks in the room, you got to put down everything you're doing. It's like. That's a nice sculpture. Would you like to have that?
No.
I like it. I'm pretty sure Ryan could make it on his.
It would look good if it's got LEDs in it.
No, I like it. It's like 2 S's.
It's some nice acrylic.
Yeah,
it's like a Marvel rally track or something.
Yeah, it does.
Marbles.
Oh, the neo-primitive period of Tyrrhenian blade carving, of course.
Picasso's primitive period comes to mind.
I mean, it sounds insulting to call something the neo-primitive period.
Yeah, he drew like African masks, and also he drew like a bull. A bull in like the look that's modern art right there too, but a bull in a cave painting form, Picasso.
Look, see, he's clearly not autistic. He just reads that expression and realizes she doesn't like it without having to say anything. He knows what he's doing.
He has to be told that, like, look, I'm your girlfriend.
No, he doesn't have to be. He's just pretending that he has to be told. He's a liar.
Yeah. That's what I was doing throughout my 20s.
And training her what to do so that he'll get more direct next time.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, everybody, how's it going?
Whoa.
Pretty good. This episode's good because it tells you how to score a girlfriend, Kevin. So
nope, it absolutely does not.
It does not.
How not to score a girlfriend? Yeah.
It tells you how not to score data. That's what it tells you.
That's actually a good one. That's a good episode.
Yeah, be the rebound.
When you kiss her,
an episode.
You kiss her, grab her so she can't run away.
What do people have against hugging? I don't understand what this is about.
Oh, no, it's hugging's fine, just not like while you're kissing.
What are you talking about?
Stop making that noise.
When you kiss a girl, cradle her head in your hands. She'll melt. It's great. Don't hug her like as if you're keeping her there.
You don't have to hug her like Data did, where your arms are fully extended straight out. But you can totally hug someone while you're kissing them. That's fine. You're allowed to do that.
Make sure she's into you, though.
Yes, yeah. There's ways to do it.
Do not just grab a woman off the street. Don't do that.
If you play with her hair a little bit, she'll give you a look. That look will indicate she wants a kiss. If she doesn't give that look, pull your hand back immediately.
Right. But if you hear she just broke up with someone, give her like 6 months. No matter how
I mean, it varies person to person.
Hot and heavy she's coming on to you, just give her like 6 months.
Give them time. You can usually kind of figure out when they're getting past those things. But yeah, definitely some time. Typically, yeah, a few months at least.
If you hear,
here's an alternative suggestion. Just talk to her.
Oh well.
Wow. Get to know her and stuff.
Oh, and that's fair. I mean, you do have to kind of play the game sometimes. But some people, it works, and it's if you're totally direct, it's totally fine. But that's not for everybody, unfortunately. Now we get really serious. Like we kind of have this light dating thing, and then we have all these serious Nebula issues. Someone in chat said it's a it's like a tonal nightmare or whatever. Tonal mess. Tonal whiplash. There you go. Edit to who said that?
Picard's
Shizzle Bizzle.
Picard's leaning on the helm chair. He never does that.
Why do we have a planet now?
Don't worry about it.
I'm worried about it.
Yeah.
You know what else I'm worried about? The fact that Tracy is not on the bridge right now. Where's Tracy?
Honey?
Data, scan for life forms.
Right, Tracy.
Not Jenna. We don't care about Jenna. It's all about Tracy.
There's no automatic someone replace Data at the helm there.
Yeah, Jenna was a one-night stand.
Oh no, there's some plants.
That's a bit ridiculous how much everything moved.
Wow, look at how well stacked that is.
Also, don't date someone within your department at work.
It's like Poltergeist.
Or especially your subordinate, even if she's coming on to you hot and heavy.
Don't worry, Data's not dating someone he works with because when they're on the job, Jenna just sits on the floor and doesn't do any work in the first place.
Is that the name that Data is dating or trying to date?
That's Jenna.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember her. Jenna DeSora?
Yeah, something like that.
DeSora. D''S''ORA.
She has a keyblade.
I like Italians too.
Italian people are cool.
What about Italican people?
Oh my god, part.
Did he say honey I'm home?
The Discord people's attention to Shell's name.
Yes, I'm Italian.
Oh, cool. He said honey I'm home.
Honey,
he used the contraction, but I think he's just, kind of quoting a phrase. I guess that makes sense.
No, he can use contract.
He let the mask slip for a second.
The simplest thing ever.
This is where he totally wears her out. So don't be too nice to your girlfriend, especially like someone new, because that'll freak him out.
And it seems so phony. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah. Don't be phony.
It's like it's clear you have an ulterior motive, and that's not a good thing to put across.
Yeah, but Data can't not be phony. He's Data.
Yeah.
Excellent choice. That's how romance is.
Dead singing.
2 Calamon cherries.
But Data can't drink. Well, he can, but he's not going to get anything out of it.
Yeah, don't adopt a phony crooner voice. Even though Brent Spiner is a crooner.
Yeah, I like the episodes when he gets to do some real acting.
It's just
he's acting like Lord here.
Data's basically trying to be romantic, but that's just not how you talk to another human being. You don't.
No.
Nobody says things like that.
That's Nora talking right here. This is
a classic case of trying too hard.
That's Nora right here.
Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah, it does have kind of a lore feel to it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Ironically, I think Lore would be better at dating than Data would.
Oh, 1,000%.
I don't think he'd be.
Because he's very good at. Yeah, he's good at manipulating people.
It would end up with him taking the person out to the middle of the woods and murdering them. But before that, it would be fantastic.
Yeah.
We've all had relationships like that, so not literally like that, but
okay.
I have never taken someone out to the woods.
Not literally.
I mean, I've been in the woods with people, but so far I've been able to restrain myself from shooting them or stabbing them.
Just means like someone is manipulating someone else.
Have you ever put your index finger on someone else's lips like that?
No, I have not. Fucking rude.
Oh,
I never knew his
this
name.
is the bit that Pogo gets for Data and Picard, the song.
Yeah.
Cheddar Card.
A great song.
By not so great a person,
we
but
doing-
you know, we don't have to talk about that.
Are we doing 4 episodes?
Yeah, 4 episodes.
2-parters count as 1-parter.
Oh my god, I'm never gonna do any work today. Today done. Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Brent Spiner has a YouTube thing. He has a show. I've only seen like part of an episode, but maybe I should go back and actually watch it.
I've watched a few. His whole shit gets a little tired for me, but it's kind of fun to watch. Yeah.
Don't smother anybody with
A pillow?
compliments or things like that. Like don't memorize compliments and repeat them to people. Pickup lines don't work, by the way.
But like, do you guys remember, like, I don't know, 14, 15 years ago when the pickup artist thing was like kind of a big deal in certain communities, and you'd see these douchebags out at bars in like full 3-piece suits.
Yeah.
Clearly just running like hand material on ladies,
Right.
and like the ladies will smile and kind of like politely put up with it because it's kind of funny to watch. But like, I've never heard of anyone actually successfully picking up a lady with any of that material. I've watched it a lot at bars in Los Angeles during that time, and it was just embarrassing. So yeah, just be more natural. You'll be fine.
Genuine.
Once again, just talk. Just talk.
Yeah. And
Like,
don't
being direct
have
doesn't
canned
always
material.
work, but it works a lot.
Data's all canned material here. It's like, do not wish to continue our lovers' quarrel. And in my study of interpersonal dynamics.
If you're trying to like neurolinguistically program someone, that's not a good sign for the
NLP.
relationship.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, if you're just trying to go to bed with somebody, I guess, like, if you can live with the moral sort of implications of that, but that's up to you.
They're back
Now, the
into
first
this
question you have to ask a
picture.
potential date is, how do you feel about Star Trek?
TNG
How I feel about it. I like
If
it.
you haven't seen Star Trek, how do you feel about watching it together?
Yep.
I like watching together.
Yes,
Also the seasons.
Man.
Right
if
now.
you're just starting to date someone, you should probably not go on stream with them. Maybe just like to keep that private.
I mean, really, I like
But-
watching together. I mean, that's how they connect to each other. That's how they connect with
here's-
each other.
Yeah, me too. But here's another thing. Your partner is always testing you. So Data just failed a test because she's asked, "What were you thinking?" And he says, "I was recalibrating the warp coils." And so think very carefully when you answer.
Also, your partner is not always testing you. It's not an adversarial relationship all the time.
Yeah, but in the beginning stages of a date, every answer you give reflects kind of like your mode of thought. So you're being
that's
tested.
true of like meeting anyone though. Like the first few things you say,
Yeah.
how they perceive you. I mean, that's the thing.
True.
It's like any kind of exploration. You send a couple probes out first,
Yeah. But Data failed that one, and that's when he got friend
Oh
zoned.
no. Ensign McKnight just got a name. Is she gonna die this episode? Is she gonna be the one in the floor?
Oh shit.
And
If she was a nobody, he would have just said Ensign. No, she has a name.
We get to
Is that
see
the blonde at the helm?
how the shuttles and go ba-doop and stuff.
Oh man, we get some pretty good like little action bits in this episode too. That's cool.
I just remember the romantic dialogue.
Helmsman, she looks like it's not her, but it looks like Shawnee Smith, from Saw movies.
Is this the person between the decks?
Structural damage between 36 and 37. I think I know exactly what's going to be happening in about 30 seconds.
Oh, jeez.
Picard never really directed too much, but Frakes ran away with it, and you got to be proud of him.
We found the structural damage.
Yeah, thank you.
Frakes is like a directing savant, apparently.
Yeah.
Like he worked
Something
very
wrong with
quickly
going on
and
here.
very well.
He had a gift.
Let's say him and Robert Duncan McNeil, I know, has
Yeah.
directed a lot of episodes of television, and they're just good fits for it, you know.
Yeah, and William Shatner directed Star Trek V, and we all know how that turned out. So not everyone has the gift.
It was okay.
No. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. It gets a bad rap for sure.
Was that the one with the Uhura fan dance?
Yes. I'm like that's 56-year-old Nichelle Nichols. No hate to her. Weird. I love her, but
hubba.
People complain about like romance in Star Trek and the new stuff. Have you seen Naked Uhura fan dance?
Well, it's funny because you watch Star Trek: The Motion Picture, you realize like one of the main themes of that, if not the main theme, is about getting older and feeling obsolete. And it's like, and then they made 5 more movies.
Yeah, it's so controversial when like Kirk takes command of the Enterprise from Decker, and he's like, "You're an admiral. Like, why are you taking my thing from me?" And you're right. Like for the next 10, 15 years, he's captaining the Enterprise again.
Oh, Star Trek 6, like you realize, like this is where he belongs. He's not good at a lot of things in Starfleet. This is the one thing he's exceptional at.
Yeah, he's definitely not an admiral.
No, if you throw him behind a desk, you are wasting him.
Yeah, he's like fidgeting behind the desk the whole time.
Seriously, man, he's like one of those soldiers who just can't be a general or whatever, you know.
So why do they have a navigation uplink if he's manually reading out over the comlink his course changes?
Because it's more dramatic this way.
That's very true.
More like a Navy show.
Should have used the Admiral's yacht, or the Captain's yacht, rather. Which is on the Enterprise D.
God, that's
just never, ever used.
I cannot wait until we get runabouts, because that thing is hideous.
Yeah. like a refrigerator.
Yeah, looks like they can barely fit in that.
How is Ensign McKnight still alive? She has a name. How does that happen?
Colors her shirt.
We still have,
I think we're being
10 more minutes?
We're being nice to female officers.
Did they do this with a probe?
Yeah.
Did they give an explanation why they couldn't use a probe?
Picard knows that the Enterprise has taken a lot of damage and people are just kind of dying, so he just got out of there.
In the Darmok episode, Picard gets that jacket for the leather top.
The adventure jacket, yes.
Yes, and but he's wearing it on the bridge at the beginning of the episode, which is inexplicable, but go him.
He knows he's going on. Anytime Picard is wearing the adventure jacket, there's going to be an adventure. We know this.
Okay.
And he knew he was going on an adventure that day because he's Captain Picard.
On the Star Trek Game Boy game that we had when I was a kid, you had to go through those. You had to take the ship through those same like parentheses or square brackets. It was pretty fun to like go into orbit by like flying through the brackets.
Now would be a good time. Casually.
Yeah, that would be a good time.
So Picard just scraped against the edge of an anomaly, but he expects the Enterprise to fit through? How's that going to work?
Oh, because he lost control. It just he didn't want it to spin continuously.
And also, he's apparently the best pilot on the ship because that's who they got doing this.
Yeah!
Which is BS because Riker's like the best pilot in Starfleet.
Yeah, Riker is.
Geordi actually
takes full manual control of the Enterprise E.
Riker is.
Riker and Geordi, there are so many better people.
Riker's old captain says he's the best pilot in Starfleet.
But again, he just didn't want to be on the Enterprise because he knows they're screwed.
I'm going to survive this.
I thought Riker was the best pilot.
Yeah,
and that's what I always thought. I mean, Geordi can pilot, but I always heard that that Riker was the best pilot.
Yes, Riker is.
No, they say it in the Pegasus episode for sure. Yeah.
In Insurrection, also he pilots the Enterprise E with a joystick.
Right.
In Chain of Command with Jellicoe.
Yeah,
and you can also hear that Riker is a journey tells Jellicoe that Riker is the best pilot that they ever have.
Yeah.
And
I was going to say that.
That's also through a nebula, by the way, in Insurrection, the Briar Patch, more or less.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a sci-fi trope, the asteroid field or the nebula or whatever.
This same asteroid field is just all of Season 3 of Enterprise. It's just asteroid fields, or anomaly fields everywhere.
Yeah, yes. Like, I keep getting suggested that on Netflix, and I finally watched a couple episodes yesterday, and I was just like, I love this show so much, but there's so many, like, things about it that irk me. And that's one of them.
It's so good, though.
They transported him off.
The biggest problem with Season 3 of Enterprise is that Scott Bakula tries to be a hard ass, and it just doesn't come across.
Yeah.
He was really good in Quantum Leap.
He was. I think he's got a narrow range, but I think he's a good actor with what he does.
I might come all wrong.
It was a weird character shift, and it definitely didn't fit.
He has a very soft-spoken voice and demeanor.
Yeah, he's in a movie called is it Lord of Illusions? Something like that.
He's much better quantum teleporting around. He was so believable in that show. Yeah.
So that's
he's in a movie called Lord of Illusions, which is really good.
That candle is not burning cleanly.
It doesn't matter now, Ryan. He's about to get the big old Dear John letter.
It's actually how candles should burn.
He dresses like an art teacher.
Kinda. She has that same sort of Aztecan or African style vest that Cisco wears.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Her pattern almost matches the curtain behind her.
Maybe that's why he put up that curtain.
Yeah, that could be on purpose. Very perceptive. Yeah, that candle is fucked.
It was also like the bottom half of it was in water, and it's a metal tube that's holding the fuel like one giant wick.
It's so weird.
It's like a weird thin Bunsen burner is what it is.
Bunsen burning your quarters down here.
She's like all tense about how to tell him, and like he doesn't care. He's not gonna mind.
Yeah, her body language.
It's not you, it's me. I just can't deal with your weird, creepy staring.
No, she actually says though, I fell in love with a cold, emotionless man, and I fell in love with you. So this is why I made the same mistake twice.
I mean, they went on like 2 days. I don't know if I'd call it love.
The lesson is be yourself, I guess, or don't date a robot, something like that.
She was gaga over him.
He's an android, not a robot.
She was
Dark Matter Nebulous.
Yeah, I think it's Dana's fault because he's emotionless. In other words, he's an android, and androids don't feel any emotion. I mean, they would try, but they don't.
But he wrote her a subroutine.
Yeah.
He did. That's very true.
Yeah.
He wrote a lot of subroutines for her.
Yeah.
Try to see like if this actress was really in anything else. She was I guess she's the female lead on Airwolf in the 80s, if anyone remembers that show.
He even programmed the domestic dispute for her. I mean, that's true love right there. Because it's like if I'm gonna get into a domestic dispute with you, you know I'm crazy about you.
Shell, are you okay?
Yes.
I'm funny. That's all.
Sounded like you're kind of hyperventilating there. Or is that someone else?
My data commentary is just that big.
I don't know.
I laughed so hard I was out of breath.
It must have been me. I didn't realize I was laughing that hard.
But Data's hilarious here because he goes, "I'll delete the appropriate subroutines," and it's like, that's all he has to do.
Yeah, no fair.
We're not like that, yeah. We gotta cry.
Then
for like
Spot
6
comes
months.
and says hello. Somehow I identified that he's upset.
Don't they change out to a different cat after this?
They have
the cat
at least two Spot actor cats. At least 2.
Thanks, Gene Roddenberry.
I think it was a different cat in each episode.
Yeah.
That could be.
We also have several Porthoses.
Oh man, he set up a candlelight dinner and like she didn't even. Anyway, that's a total waste.
I love that they had Porthos on that show though because I owned a beagle and beagles are can be very finicky, and to have one trained for TV is kind of impressive.
Porthos is such a good dog.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. That was sweet of him, though, to see. Look how sweet he is. Like, that's total relationship material. Somebody who will make dinner for two, wait for you to come over.
He's learning. He just needs to kind of reframe his kind acts a little bit.
Yep. I can cook a mean steak.
Right, the next episode is Redemption Part 1, 1 minute countdown.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, I do remember when Porthos caused a diplomatic incident. What was the name of that race?
Assassins.
I do love Porthos.
And Archer had to do like this dance or whatever.
He had to cut a log from a sacred tree with a chainsaw and do some chant around it.
You know, I remembered that and dismissed it as that couldn't possibly be a correct memory.
No, that's what happened.
So this alien race has chainsaws for some reason?
He also had to do it
the
shirtless.
chainsaw.
Oh yeah, it was his own chainsaw.
I don't know why Enterprise has a chainsaw, but okay.
I see. Bring your own chainsaw kind of ritual.
Yeah, he went shirtless and had a chainsaw and put on a headdress, and then chopped a log off a sacred tree that his dog peed on. Alright, everybody ready to press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
That sounds like a 2009 Trek plot.
I do actually like Archer's relationship with the Cardassians and how they're just impossible to please. Everything you do insults them. It's just like, what am I supposed to do with these people? How do I even talk to them? Oh,
And
there's
why
this weird
is
ball
there
chair in the background.
A long exchange of cultural rules before any contact.
Here is your Chadich. Jichkat Dugni Judge.
So is called Redemption because Worf was stripped of honor by the Klingon Council, and he's told in a prior episode that his name is not even mentioned on Qo'nos, even though his father was not a
He'll get his
traitor.
honor back in like 30 minutes or something.
More like 2 hours, but yeah. But it's been a long time, and like people spit on his name and his family name, even though his father was honorable, and it's the Duras's duplicity that caused that. And we meet Lursa and B'Etor, who of course are recurring villains in Generations. Good
and
or bad?
DS9.
Right, which is coming up too. And also, Worf almost gets some in the second part.
So one of the antagonists in this episode, Taral, we've already seen in DS9.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
It didn't work out so hot for him.
But the Duras family is just evil. They're working with...
Yeah, even
enemies
in
of the
Enterprise, we see a Duras and he's just evil. Every Duras is always evil.
Yeah, they just got bad blood in them. Yeah.
It's like Back to the Future.
It's like the Lannisters in Game of Thrones. Hey, there's a Vorcha-class starship.
Is that ship the Bortas?
Yeah.
Yes. By the way,
Yes,
Bortas means revenge in Klingon. Which is
Gowron started the
interesting.
conversation without his crazy eyes.
Preventing a Klingon Singapore.
No, you see, it's just crazy eyes. You can still see it right there.
He did, but when we saw him on camera, he just looked normal. And then Picard showed up and he had to go crazy.
Yeah.
It's all an act for Picard.
You got to give him 5 seconds, then the eyes start popping out.
Acting.
But if the episode's
chilling.
redemption and they're getting revenge against the Duras, because that Klingon expression, Bortas Bir, revenge is a dish best served cold. So it's kind of an underlying motif on this episode to get revenge against the Duras family.
As always, everybody, please look at the stars right here. There they
I
go.
was about to mention that as well. Yep.
Apparently, the Amazon subtitles say, "These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Enterprise."
Yeah, they always do that. There's like anything italics gets like moved up a line and off to the side. Ship names always get duplicated.
Wait, why
I didn't actually notice that. The Enterprise has its name printed on the connector between the net of the Enterprise.
Yeah, Worf killing Gowron was great. I mean, the whole speech that he gave after that, like, Martok, leader of the Empire, leader of destiny, what does that mean, Worf? You don't need to be so dramatic about it, just give him the coat. But the actual fight was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Martok, of course, is the best Klingon. Worf.
Well, Worf isn't a Klingon at this point.
Worf is a Klingon weeb, is what he is.
Yeah.
How many places does the Enterprise have its name printed on it?
All of the places.
All right, everybody watch Gowron's eyes the whole episode. Let's see if he ever blinks. Not yet.
Tony Todd's in this. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Kern.
Yeah, Kern's back.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, right on. Love Tony Todd.
Blink! There was a blink!
Yeah.
Did it?
Wait,
I didn't see it. I don't believe you.
There's a minor reduction in minor closing of the eyes there.
Occasionally there's winks, but that's not the same.
There's a blink there.
When his eyes changed direction, he blinked for sure there.
Yeah, right before they went to Picard, his eyes blinked. So
right.
His eyes blinked.
Yep.
Also, I think I might be out of sync. I don't know if this episode is slightly cut differently or something.
I don't know. What are you seeing right now? I'm saying because no Klingon could be trusted.
That is beyond my purview.
As he said trusted, he said trusted.
You accepted this duty, and you must see it through to the end.
Yeah, I got it too. I'm on now. I mean,
that is better.
Yeah, I'm on. My stream's been staying good. It's been staying steady.
This is what you get for using alternate sources.
Acting in this scene, because it's really just two guys sitting in a room.
That's most of Star Trek.
You get a little movement, but mainly they're just sitting down and they're using body language. They're using their faces a lot.
They're using their eyes.
Theatrical.
Yeah. His eyes.
One of them more than the other.
And he has the whole
Gowron's wearing some skinny jeans today.
Yeah.
And do they have zippers going all the way down? What is happening with his legs?
But going back to the eyes, Gowron has to open his eyes for him to have that effect. There's nothing that holds the eyes open. That's what he said when we met him at the convention.
It's not O'Brien this time.
Gowron's pouting because he has to talk to Worf. Well, you kinda are, Worf. And you're working with Starfleet instead of the Klingon Defense Forces, which is somewhat incorrectly named.
Best defense is a good offense? I don't know.
Duras. Get it on Worf's eye level, crouching down.
It's so amazing. He has to lean on the console.
Nobody's leaning on a console. What are you looking at?
Wait, what?
Gowron.
He's not on. What he got? Now he's leaning on the
console.
Oh my god. How ahead am I?
Like 5 to 10 seconds.
Motion detected at the front yard.
Also, there's motion in the front yard.
Intruder.
Yeah, maybe the dog.
Red alert.
Oh, my mail's here.
To get you synced up, let me start reading out some dialogue here.
My mail's here. I got
You
mail.
killed Duras.
There you go.
I consider that no small favor. But what you ask is impossible. But after your installation... Oh, come on, he's dead and we can't badmouth him? Come on. How can people be loyal to a family that doesn't exist anymore?
Oh, the family still exists.
They don't know that. Now it's all about protecting the council because they lied to the Empire. So
Yeah,
Worf only has to live with his dishonor for, what, 20 more minutes?
Oh yeah, this is where just Guinan is good at shooting for some reason.
Yes, because she's old.
Yep.
Well, we don't know much about Guinan.
We know she hung out with Mark Twain.
We know that she's had history with the Borg.
The Borg and Mark Twain and Q, and for some reason she's a threat to Q. And she, tries to claw him.
She likes wearing mushroom hats.
Actually, if she's a threat to Q and the Borg assimilated her people, how are the Q afraid of the Borg?
I don't know. The Q aren't afraid of the Borg.
Yeah.
But you don't provoke them. Also, we know about her that she doesn't have eyebrows.
She has very particular taste in hats, those mushroom hats.
Yep. And we know that in all the outtakes, every outtake of her is just her swearing. Thank you, Guinan, for calling him out on this. Lots of Klingons laugh. Every Klingon we see laughs, except Worf. Yes, exactly, Worf. So stop trying to be like other Klingons. Just be Worf.
Yeah, the themes today are be yourself.
Yes. And also that memes are an excellent method of communication. In case of Darmok. You can run a starship off memes. Tragically, although the ship of that alien race is triangular, it's not the triangle. It's just a triangle.
Guinan continues to prove that she's a better counselor than Deanna Troi.
Yeah. Yeah.
She listens.
Who isn't better than Deanna Troi, really?
Look, a barkeep was kind of a... before we had psychologists, we had barkeeps. No offense, D-Blow, if you're watching this at a later point. But, you know, you don't need a therapist if you got a good barkeep.
It looked like Picard just replicated a plate of grapes, which is fine. But grapes and tomatoes? Yeah. Grapes and cherry tomatoes?
You mentioned that. I think... But another thing, he was talking about being a dad before, and me and Kevin watched A Fistful of Datas, and in that episode, Worf tries to find like 10 additional duties, and Picard's like, why don't you just enjoy your time off? And then he goes to his quarters, and Alexander's like, can we go to the holodeck now? He goes, yeah, we can go to the holodeck. So Worf is actually a really bad father, and this is that he'd rather assign himself extra work rather than take his son to the holodeck.
Oh, here's Tony Todd.
I was going to say, we got to see Picard say Qapla', which was kind of neat.
Success.
Tony Todd, the Candyman.
Picard even swears in Klingon. He swears in My Star Trek.
But
I'm trying to catch myself. I dropped an F-bomb earlier.
You're allowed to swear.
Okay, cool.
Well, I'm just making fun of people who say you're not allowed to swear in Star Trek.
We do get demonetized, so we can give Ryan the money.
Hey, it was like a $1.50, right?
The reason why they don't swear in 90s and noughties television stuff is because it was more heavily...
It was censorship.
Iffy on it.
It's on network television. You still can't swear on network television. It's just that's not as big a part of television anymore.
You get fined.
I think on basic cable after certain hours, I think you can now. But yeah, as far as this was a syndicated too. So I mean, they were the time slots were at the mercy of the individual affiliate. So they had to be sort of acceptable across the board.
Most shows
basic cable can swear.
To find any way to be able to swear.
It had nothing to do with the vision of the future. It was all FCC censorship.
The FCC has no jurisdiction over cable. Cable will only
it's the
whims of advertisers.
I was going to say it's going to be the internal censorship boards among the individual broadcasters, but it's the same idea.
Cable came out in the 70s. It didn't take off till the 80s. And even in the 90s, most people had over-the-air television through the antennas, bunny ears.
Yeah.
So, this was definitely on the network. This would have been regulated by the FCC.
That's the thing. Like, if this was constantly shown, I think in the 90s it changed it after 9 p.m. local. I think you could have a degree of PG-13 level swearing, but it's like Star Trek may have aired at that time on certain affiliates, but it may have aired at like 4 p.m. on a Saturday at certain affiliates, so they just didn't know.
But what if we just like explode someone's entire body and expose their skeleton?
Oh no! This is America. Violence on television is fine. You can show whatever.
That's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I think character kiss. How dare they? Disgusting.
I watched Hellraiser 2 on TNT at like 2:30 in the afternoon with my 5-year-old nephew, and like there's literally a scene where someone's peeling their skin off with a razor blade. That's in the movie. Yeah. It's fine. Yeah,
were they swearing when they were
drop an F word? No, the F word was bleeped out. So yeah.
So the Supreme Court was ruling on something like about the FCC, and I think Colbert. No, it was John Oliver. He puts a piece on how much violence there is on primetime television. Like if you could just go to Law and Order and SVU, it's like your husband was shot in the face with a gun, or so it's just like it's really
right before it goes off camera. Why does Tony Todd have a bowl of sand?
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
It's got to be like a therapeutic thing, right?
Some ritual thing, Klingons.
I felt so bad watching this episode because we learned what happens to Kern in that Deep Space Nine watch along that we do. And it's like, this guy is going to be memory wiped in a couple of...
The thing that happens to him without his consent?
Yeah. I mean, he's a great actor, though. Is that Kempek?
No,
Kempek is dead.
That's just some dude.
Okay. Yeah, Kempek is dead. Picard's
Gowron's installation as Chancellor.
Picard's Klingon is flawless.
They really cut the timing close here.
Wait, are you seeing Toral already? Because he's definitely not here.
Yes! Yeah. God damn it. I'll skip back some, or just pause for a little bit some more.
What is wrong with the version you legally acquired?
Apparently it's just missing 20-30 seconds of stuff.
I have that version too, and the frame rate is different. So over time, like, it becomes out of sync.
Picard is just picking up the coat, and he's gonna... Now Toral stormed in.
What in the world? That's really out of sync.
Yeah, that's what happens when you lose 1 frame per second.
For anyone watching on YouTube, I'm using the Amazon video version. If you would like to make sure it stays in sync.
I would love to.
I don't know. These villains, you love to hate them, and it's like they always rub me the wrong way. But now that I know and love the series a little more, it's like, okay, they're a part of it. But they're just so
that stupid scene where the Enterprise D gets destroyed.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really understand how Lursa and Bator get anything done ever. I don't understand what their position is. How do they have power?
Yeah.
They just show up sometimes, and sometimes it's just them, and they have like one friend. Other times they're controlling half of the Empire. How does this work?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, sorry, man.
In sync.
Oh, that was in sync? Woohoo!
Yeah. Now, was Picard the Arbiter last time?
Yeah, Kimpek chose him to be the Arbiter, and he was all, no, I can't do it.
So he's going to be Arbiter every time, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, just for Gowron, because we haven't actually finished that yet. Not until Gowron is actually established as leader.
But this hall, the set, the scenery, you just believe you're on Qo'nos.
Dun, it's Romulans. Who would have guessed?
It's always Romulans. Also, now we see the Romulans.
And we see which one.
That's not Tasha. There's Tasha.
Yep. Yeah, keep your ideas to yourself, kid. That's child abuse right there.
Why are you keeping Denise in silhouette? We know who it is. It's not subtle.
This time it's not even overdubbed. It's just her.
Yep.
She has a very distinctive voice. We know it's Denise.
Why would you have a speed if you're not going to show it's her?
I mean, I was thinking, like, maybe it's in shadow for the people who didn't see season 1, but if they haven't seen season 1, why would they care that it's Tasha?
No, I was surprised that it was Tasha. It took me a minute to realize who that was. Because we haven't seen Tasha in, like, 3 seasons.
Oh yeah, also in the HD version, you can just clearly see that it's her. It's not...
Yeah.
Even when you see her, you don't recognize her.
It's not been that long. We saw her sister, anyway.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We saw fake Tasha, and we had real Tasha 3 years ago. And I think we've had yesterday's Enterprise already. That wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, that was like last season, wasn't it?
Worf shouldn't be wearing his uniform if he's not acting on duty. Like,
did you watch yesterday's Enterprise already?
Yeah, we watched it.
Oh, okay.
Because that's where Sela came from. Tasha 2, Romulan Boogaloo. People say I'm not allowed to use the word Boogaloo anymore because some other people stole it. But just don't let them steal it. It's a regular word. You're allowed to use Boogaloo. Just don't use it in that context, baby.
By the way, Picard bends the rules here. Even though Worf is using the Federation database for his own purpose.
Yes. It's not technically a violation of the Prime Directive. Technically.
So basically, if you beg your captain, he can break the rules for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's Star Trek.
Yeah.
By the way, the look Picard gives here is so amazing. When his eyes go askew, he's like, I'm lecturing you, but I'm also in the same conflict of interest by being the arbiter of succession. Brilliant actor.
You can't blame Terrell for that, though. For him trying to get you killed. Motion detected at the front door?
You guessed it. That's exactly what happened.
Okay.
Yeah, getting the mail.
So Picard declassifies all the records to
Does he have the authority to do this?
He does now.
What is he, Edward Snowden? What is this? Come on.
Yeah.
What are they going to do about it? He's the best captain in Starfleet. They can't fire him.
Right.
Well, not yet, at least.
Nah, he never gets fired. He retires gracefully.
Oh, but that's not.
Who are you going to put in command, Riker?
That's
No
not
way.
the first time he in this episode. Well, that's not the last time in this episode he breaks the rules for Worf. Worf straight up resigns, and then he asks at the end of the episode, "Permission to return to duty, sir. Granted." It's like, wait a minute, that's not how resignations from the Navy work.
Apparently it's in the future space Navy.
Okay. Then
the future space communist Navy.
Lots of paperwork.
The chair looks like a bubbleth.
But how can there be paperwork if they don't have paper anymore?
Yeah.
E.C. Henry did a video on that they have paper in Star Trek.
Well, have you been watching a different Star Trek channel?
How dare you?
You don't do the same type of videos. It's a different area.
You said the name too.
So you're getting something from them that you're not getting from me. I'm not leaving you satisfied with my videos, is what you're saying?
Yeah, he's not half as funny as Ryan.
Oof.
He's not funny at all.
We learned about relationships today. Put that to use.
God, I had an actual comment I wanted to make, but I had to stop and do that instead. Now I don't remember what I was going to say.
Does anyone else ever touch Picard's scalp like that? Because I hope not.
Does Vosh?
I think some of the people he dates does.
Yeah, I think Vosh rubs his head at one point.
Commander Darren, the piano lady, will probably touch his skull.
Oh yeah.
I gotta go, guys. I got family coming over, so.
All right.
Yeah, you guys have a good day,
man.
If I don't see
you not want to watch Star Trek with us?
See you tomorrow.
See you, man. Later.
Dr. Crusher will probably touch his skull at one point.
During an exam
Inside
or
and
what?
out. God, I'm trying to remember what I wanted to talk about, but
sorry,
no clue.
Sorry.
Is it Klingon cleavage? Was it that?
Ooh.
No, but that is also apparently it's okay in TNG, but if Discovery does it, it's pure evil.
Right. Yeah.
You get it in Generations.
It's not a threat. It's just a threat.
It's so funny how they... Go ahead.
Didn't one of the Duras sisters die recently?
Yeah, I think it was her, Barbara March.
Okay.
It's so funny how the sisters are both sexual and repulsive at the same time. It's a great effect.
Yeah, Barbara March died August 11th, 2019, due to complications of cancer.
Okay.
Rest in peace.
Oh, she's Canadian. That's cool.
No, she's a Klingon.
Yeah, my bad.
Unless there's a Klingon Canada, like because they do have various provinces.
Yeah,
it's called Alberta.
No, there's a part of on Klingon territory called Canada, but it's spelled with a K.
With a Q?
It's the original Canada.
Yeah.
It's the original Canada.
It's Quebec. It's Quebec, but it's Q apostrophe BEC.
Yes, exactly.
But it's like the Borg on Antarctica in Enterprise. So the Klingons landed in like Inuit territory in Canada.
That's awesome. I'll go with that. Love the set design here. It was really cool. Even the lighting.
It is the Great Hall for sure.
That's fantastic, man.
Has Gowron fought battles?
Oh, I'm sure.
Also, it feels. How do Klingon chancellors retire? I guess is my question. Do they retire, or do they just go until they die?
I don't know. We never find out how.
Yeah, they always die.
Work.
Because I would think they would go with the Sith method, where you just get assassinated by someone, and then that person's the leader now.
Yeah, I was thinking the Supreme Court method, where you just serve until you die or retire. But
I mean, they always die on the job. It's like popes, they don't retire.
Kimpek got poisoned. Gowron gets stabbed.
Yeah.
Those are the only ones I know.
Gorkon gets assassinated.
Oh, right. Gorkon gets shot.
Yeah.
And then we have Martok by the end of DS9.
That is a disgusting violation of canon. When Kimpek gets assassinated, it's a cowardly act, and they're not able... That person cannot be allowed to rule the council. Gowron gets assassinated. Everyone's like, dude, that was awesome. You're the leader now.
I think it's the manner of assassination. Poisoning is a cowardly thing to do. But to stab them is a bit...
Yes.
Welcome, Will.
You're showing honor. Or strength in doing so. Showing that Gowron couldn't lead.
Hello all.
Oh.
Will.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome, Will. Will we see you for D&D this week?
Yes, you will. And I'll be bright. I did fill in the schedule. I filled in this morning.
Nice. Anyone here who has not filled out the schedule, if you go ahead and do... I think everyone here has, actually.
I did.
So yeah, I'm gonna be finalizing the schedule tonight.
He says his true bloodlines were hidden to protect him, but that has to be undone.
Like with Kern, we hide his true bloodlines.
Yeah, but then you hide his true memories too. So.
How did they control most of the fleet? How does that happen? Nobody even likes Doros.
They have the allegiance of the other houses.
Doros has been evil for like 10 generations. How are people still liking Doros?
But you know what's great though? I love how Discovery shows us the Klingon houses and how like fighting they are. I thought it was a really good plot point, and I really appreciated it. Even though people hated the Discovery Klingons, I liked them.
Discovery Klingons are terrible.
I like the whole... I mean, I don't like the Tukuvma Ash thing. That kind of, like, weirds me out. Just the same way Martin Green was weirded out.
How do you feel about Arn Darvin from Trouble with Tribbles? That's what it's called.
Can't remember.
It's great.
Who's that?
Arn Darvin's fantastic. He's the Klingon.
Very human and is actually secretly a Klingon.
Oh, right.
And then we get it. We get him back in the DS9 episode.
Trials and Tribulations.
Yeah, that's like one of my favorite DS9s for sure.
I see myself
coming up in your watch.
I see myself with Kirk's head in one hand and a Tribble in the other.
That's very dramatic, Darwin. Thank you.
Awesome. Oh man, I love these ships.
Me too. I was gonna say that the Klingon ships are very green.
I was watching the trailer for Wrath of Khan, like the remastered HD trailer for Wrath of Khan, and when those Klingon ships show up on screen, it's just like Jesus Christ. So cool.
So the Federation isn't allowed to interfere, but Worf is acting as weapons officer and shooting the other Klingons.
Right, it's okay because he took his badge off, remember?
No, he hasn't resigned yet. He's going to.
Yeah, that's going to be after this scene.
Oh.
Yeah, he's still acting as Federation, but he just happened to be on the ship during the attack, and now he's just shooting. You don't say, Will. I think we knew that already. Thank you, Riker.
Kelly cans? What?
Kelly cans? What? How far ahead are you?
I think I'm way behind.
Picard just said engage, and now the Enterprise is leaving.
Turning around.
Yeah.
90 degrees. 180 degrees. 270 degrees.
Port shields are still down. Disruptors online. Lock on target.
You're a little bit behind me, tiny bit. I'll sort it out.
See, he's still wearing his uniform and his comm badge and his sash.
Goss.
But the Bortas is Gowron's flagship, apparently.
Yeah, tell me when there's a big explosion.
35,000 Kelly cams.
Now we're up to
20,000 Kelly cams. Now within transporter range. They're dropping their shields. Almost a big explosion. Almost. Boom.
Boom.
Explosion.
Okay, I think we're synced up.
That looks like a new explosion. It wasn't the reused one from Generations and Star Trek 6 and
a Kelly cam is kind of like a meter, I guess.
I've asked this before, but I've asked this before. Has anyone seen Red Dwarf? Please, if someone has.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Well, in there, they sometimes use G-gooks, like 15,000 G-gooks and counting. G-gooks is gobbledygook. Like it means nothing.
That's awesome.
Hey, that was a massive violation of canon right there. That ship just cloaked and its shields were still up.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Do you remember what you wanted to say, Ryan?
Which what?
You wanted to say something like 5 minutes ago?
Nope, not at all. It's gone. It's completely gone. If it was important, I probably would have remembered. Don't worry about it.
Probably.
Okay. Oh. As someone with ADHD, I know that's not actually a thing. I definitely forget important shit.
It's actually so weird seeing this now.
Gowron as leader. 20%. 22%. 22%.
Please wait.
You have activated the Gowron installation wizard.
Oh, my Gowron installation timed out. I got to start over.
We're like 80% installation right now. We're pretty close.
35 minutes, 15 seconds.
It says I need to reboot first?
Oh, he's installed, I think. I mean, he got the code.
Please make sure no other applications are running. Any other...
We're all using Windows 95, right?
Right. There's no other
this is Windows XP. We're not. That's not come out yet.
I'm running Vista, so I'm screwed.
Well, I mean, is it Windows Vista 1.0 or do you have a couple service packs?
1.0.
If you have the service packs, you're fine.
Yeah, service pack
1.0. Raw dogging it here.
Okay.
You guys are being too nerdy. Could we do something less nerdy, like watch Star Trek, please?
Oh, sorry.
That's called the ductiles, by the way.
Cool. Knives look so cool.
Whoa.
You know,
until next time.
Who's pouring cereal?
Yeah, what is that?
I'm opening something. I'll turn it down, sorry. That's me.
Gowron has some really good line deliveries. I forget the actor's name, but...
Robert O'Reilly.
Robert O'Reilly, yeah.
Not Bill O'Reilly, that's a different person.
No.
Well, that stain on Worf's honor is removed now.
Because he bled on a knife.
Because he helped the guy who's now in charge.
And his wardrobe here is just fantastic.
I mean, Gowron, even if you want help, Picard's not really the person to ask. I have to go to the bloody council or something.
Yeah, there's channels for this.
As they have been for generations, yes, we know.
This is like, if you're Picard, you call your boss. Like,
yeah.
you can't just sit on this.
It's like, yeah, I need you to bend the rules for me again.
Like, Admiral, there's this thing going on. Like, can we do something, or like, can you send someone? Like, what should we do here? Like, yeah,
we have an ambassador here, other than Loxana, maybe.
Yeah, someone of some use can deal with this crap. I'm running this ship. I don't have time for this.
Yeah. Like, he's expected to do the rights of the Klingon thing again. The Arbiter of Succession.
Yeah.
It's very technical. Like, I think the first time when he was Arbiter of Succession, they were all mad that Kalar was advising him. Like, why are you using arcane rules? It's like, well, he has a right to. So this is the second time he has to learn all this.
We must uphold that oath no matter our personal feelings. Other than all those times we don't uphold that oath because of our personal feelings.
No, but character-wise, though, Picard is one of the greatest ambassadors in Federation history, diplomats, because of his role in the Klingon Arbiter of Succession twice.
In this series, he is, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He doesn't actually retire.
Well, he was just saying that in Star Trek Picard, he's kind of a terrible diplomat.
I don't hate the show. The diplomatic side of Picard that I really liked just isn't really tapped into much there.
He's old and crotchety.
Yeah, I mean it kind of makes sense. It's just I wish it should lean sort of more into what I think are the strengths of the character more. But we won't talk about that because we're talking about this.
He doesn't have the comm badge anymore, so he can do anything he wants.
Need your badge.
And he'll be welcome back as soon as he puts it back on.
He's like, I order you to report to duty. I'm now a Klingon.
This is like the cop movie where the cop takes his badge off. Says, I'm not a cop now, I'm a vigilante.
But in Insurrection, when Picard resigns to defy Admiral Dougherty from explains Picard takes off his pips slowly one by one to show that he's resigning.
Where did Worf get that armor?
Very deliberate. I don't know,
does he keep that in his quarters for when he has to do some cosplay? What's that for?
In DS9, you know he's worn that with Dax. You know he has.
What about with Troy?
With Troy?
Yeah, they end up in a relationship together. We see it in the films. Or actually, technically, it ends just as the films start.
I think.
Yeah.
That happens after the episode Parallels, where Worf sees that alternate history where he and Troy are married, and then at the end of the episode, he invites her in for like champagne and dinner, and they start dating.
Yeah, but like Troy is very vanilla compared to Jadzia Dax and her kind of nutty romantic things. So.
This next scene in the corridor when everyone's like saluting. This was like what I used to make my first ever meme. It was what you expect when you quit your job at McDonald's, and it's like everyone's saluting in the corridor. It says what actually happens, and it's just like a blobfish, and you still here.
Is that an insult? What was unique about you is your humanity? And you're saying that to Klingon who's obsessed with being a Klingon?
I mean, it's a recurring motif because at the end, when he refuses to kill the Duras kid, it also shows like, okay, well, you're not a bloodthirsty Klingon. You're quite, I don't want to say domesticated, but you have
you're opening a whole can of worms there. Let's not say
domesticated.
You've adopted our values, which include compassion and forgiveness.
Is he housebroken?
No, I like domesticated.
I would say he's become, let's say, more emotionally complex and sensitive.
Oh, Lieutenant J, right at the front.
He's not going to slit a kid's throat.
First person on the left, Lieutenant J.
Dang it!
There she is.
Who's Lieutenant J?
Tracy.
Oh, thanks.
Tracy, come on.
Okay, I just know her as Tracy, okay? Like, I don't know her
last name. I have no idea how to pronounce.
Most undersung hero just behind O'Brien.
Does anyone know, was Michael Dorn's contract already renewed for the next season when they did shot this, or was this like Best of Both Worlds?
This seems like a cliffhanger of he won't come back. Yeah.
The scenes aren't necessarily shot in.
That's true, yeah.
Like Yar's you know her name. Her last scene
Denise
wasn't
Crosby.
the last. Yeah, Denise Crosby. Thank you.
Wait, but this was the season finale, though, so it would have been certainly shot before the part 2.
Yes.
I mean,
fully sharp.
I'll just say, rumor has it that Michael Dorn wants his own show, so he's not done.
I mean, that's not much of a rumor. He's saying that constantly.
Yeah,
He's
this
been
Captain
petitioning
Worf
for his
stuff
own show for
had
like
been
20 years.
this Captain Worf stuff was floating around like as soon as DS9 went off the air.
Oh, really?
I'd watch it.
Yeah. I want Regent Worf from the alternate universe. That's what I want.
Yeah, I had a funny idea with my Star Trek group. We would have Worf and his son Alexander, and it would be Worf and Son, and it would just be an intergalactic version of Sanford and Son.
What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah, like they run like a planet that's a junkyard, and they they deal with like family and they deal with like wacky characters. And,
TLS2 stood there in shadow for some reason.
Yeah, whenever we talk about Worf's show, all I could think is like, yes, an actor does want steady work as the star of a show, probably.
I don't know if Worf
Dorn
can carry
get
a show.
a lot of gigs. Like, I've seen him in animation. He has a great voice.
He does get a lot of work. Yeah, I'm sure he's not hard up for work. I'm sure it's a prestige project. It's a character he cares about, maybe that kind of angle. But I don't know. Worf he's so. I don't know if he could carry a show. He's very stoic.
Oh my God, it's Sela.
It's Denise.
Sorry, go on.
That's done. The episode's over now. That's the top of
Denise Crosby. Denise Crosby is the Pete Best of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Sorry, I cut you off though. You were talking about Worf.
Public service announcement real quick. If you click the next episode button on Netflix, it will take you and skip the recap. Do not skip the recap.
So click next episode and then scroll back to the start. Shell, this is your opportunity to try Amazon again, see if it's working now.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and congratulations everyone. We just finished season 4 and now we're in season 5. It's been a lovely ride.
Yeah.
Season 5 is an excellent season, but I think season 4 is probably my favorite. So it's all downhill from here.
Well, then why even watch this? Let's just stop. Let's watch Sub Rosa again.
Yeah.
Season 5 and 6 are both still amazing. Season 7 is where it starts getting weaker, but it still has some excellent standout episodes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I think
we're still in TNG.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, and we'll see that. I mean, Darmok's not even up yet, so please do not say that it's jumped the shark.
Yeah,
it doesn't jump the shark until Sub Rosa.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Sub Rosa is the best episode
For jumping sharks.
I'm queued up for Redemption Part 2 on Amazon.
For giant grannies.
Wowie wee wow.
I'm still on Netflix, so we'll see how well I do.
Right. All right, don't skip the recap. So we're starting off at 0000 out of 4530. 0000. 1 minute countdown.
There's an extra 15 seconds on Netflix.
Interesting.
Oh, how exciting.
Well, we're going to see what exactly that means. It's probably the recap that's different.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like extra credits.
Well, yeah, it could just be extra credits at the end.
Could be.
I don't think so, though.
Once the actual recap ends and the episode starts, I'll quote some of the dialogue so we can see if we're in sync. Let's see. Michael Dorn he's in a show called Invincible. He's Battle Beast. I have no idea what that means, but he's Battle Beast.
Ooh.
Sounds like
he was in I Am Weasel on Cartoon Network.
He was in I Am Weasel?
Yep, he was the voice of I Am Weasel.
Ah, I did not know
he's
that.
in the TV movie Relatively Super as Dr. Michael Mogson. Really? Michael Mogson? All right, everyone press play. 5, 4.
That's gotta be
3,
2,
1, play.
Last time on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
I assume we're all in sync for that, yes. A Klingon Civil War. Well, we have a minute, so let me just bring up this picture that was just posted on stream. Perfect. Yeah, that pretty much sums up Klingons. anything that you like is honorable. Everything that you don't is dishonorable. That's how it works.
Yeah, that is how it works. Like, at one point, Jadzia does something on Klingon. He's like, well, your intentions were honorable.
Or when Ezri says, that was very sweet of you. And he freaks out. It's like, that's not a very Klingon word. It's like, it was very honorable. It's like, that's better. Although a little obvious.
I'm tempted to throw down for a cameo, where you have a celebrity like give a video message from Nicole DeBoer just to say hi to the group.
Could we get a message from Siddiq al-Tahil Afaldar Abdurrahman Muhammad Ahmed Abdul Karim al-Makti?
I'll check. Let me type that all in the search
times
box.
For reference.
Let me type it all in the search box.
The recap's just finished for me.
Yes, you're on track.
Maintain course. Status of warp engines. Warp engines at 60%.
So I had
You're literally 2 seconds ahead.
I had Amazon and Netflix up at the same time. So far, they're both still in sync. So the recap was identical for both of them. So I don't know what those extra 15 seconds are.
I think you're slowing it down for the rest of us.
Just slightly different times than when we actually pressed play. My voice is actually a little bit delayed because it's being filtered through a voice suppressing thing. That should only be like half a second, though.
Kern is such a great actor. I know I already said that, but...
Oh yeah, Tony Todd's one of my favorites. He's great.
It's so weird seeing these characters knowing full well where they end up, like in DS9, like when he gets lobotomized, essentially.
Yeah.
Yes, against his will.
Tragic. But enjoy, right here they get to be brothers.
Oh, yeah.
He gets to have a big brother, a little brother, whatever that is. And Kern's the one who has to live with all the shame. Like, Worf is in Starfleet.
Yeah.
Like, people respect
Doesn't have
him.
to live with it anymore.
We're not there yet, and that's so wrong, Ryan. I'm sorry.
But it's true.
Yeah, it's like I was watching Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. It was for charity, and
Ooh, that's a nice star graphic.
The guy was doing it for the Alzheimer's Institute, and Regis Philbin says, "Oh, it's for a good cause," and he goes, "Oh, they're not going to remember it." So thanks for the lobotomy humor.
Oof.
Right, we're going to do something very similar to this maneuver in DS9. Except that time we're going to be using a gobbledygook ray to do that instead of just going to warp.
What's that guy's name? Norm Macdonald? I think he was the one who said that on Millionaire. Celebrity Millionaire. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I remember.
And the audience was like, stop, you're being mean. Admiral Shanty! Let's go.
Admiral Shanty, whose accent is not actually this. That's not her real accent.
It's amazing having a woman of color with a thick accent be a fleet admiral, because she's not playing around.
Fran Bennett, she's from Arkansas.
Yeah, but she's Admiral Shanty over here.
Yes.
She's bigger than everyone's.
Arkansas.
Arkansas, yes, of course.
She's bigger than everybody's mother and father right now, because she got the pips with the gold bars around them. But the rank of Fleet Admiral no longer exists. The last person to be Fleet Admiral was Nimitz, and that's why they named all the aircraft carriers after him.
What do you mean? We have a Fleet Admiral right here.
Right.
What are you proposing, Captain? Yeah, I think... Actually, does she outrank Nechayev? I think she outranks Nechayev.
Yeah, Nechayev's just a rear admiral, if I'm not mistaken.
I have no idea what the difference is.
You got to learn your naval ranks.
All you have to do is just look at the number of pips.
Yeah.
You don't know your naval
admiral
ranks?
pips that are different.
Okay.
Some of them have bars, some of them have circles. I don't know what the difference is between the bars and the circles.
There's like rear admiral and stuff like that, so that's the difference. Like there's 4-star generals and 3-star generals also, so it's kind of like that.
Like how dimly lit this is.
Yeah.
It's a dark episode.
Oh, is this? Oh, this is the racist guy against androids, isn't it?
No, this guy's way thinner.
What?
That's a different guy.
No, but this is the episode with the guy who he hates Data.
Yes, I thought you were talking about the guy who tries to take Lal away.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's the commander.
This is Mr.
Good evening,
Thompson.
everyone.
He's gonna be here.
Hey, bud.
Hey, welcome.
Sergeant.
Good evening.
I'm pretty sure Sergeant is not a Navy rank.
It is a Marine rank.
It is any ground forces rank. Navy uses petty officers for sergeant.
It's a non-commissioned officer rank, yeah.
Look at the stars. Look at the stars. Okay.
Stars are around fake Saturn, fake molten Saturn. Bye, stars.
Yeah, it is painful.
Sergeant is the name of a rank as old as... Well, very old. Actually.
Yeah.
As old as
Actually,
very
now,
old.
well, now I want to look up the etymology.
But you're right. I think it's got to go back to like what? 1500s?
I'm sorry.
Whoa! Wow, they do.
That's right. Season 5 has the
season
flare
5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's
only
what Ryan
season that I have
doesn't
it.
know how to do.
Yeah, last week I was talking about that. I said I'm looking forward to the flares.
It's the only season which has it for some reason there.
Because it looks awful, that's why.
So I didn't see it because I was looking up Admiral Nechayev. She has the same rank pips as Fleet Admiral Shanthi.
Oh, okay, but sorry. Continue.
How many pips does Nechayev have?
Nechayev has 3 pips and a rectangle.
Well, 3 on each
Yes.
side.
Solid gold.
3 pips.
What do you mean on each side? Aren't they always symmetrical?
Yeah.
No, Picard has 4 pips on one side.
Well, but admirals have the pips on both sides.
Right, right.
So according to her Memory Alpha article, she's a vice admiral, which
Yeah,
is
3 pips is vice admiral, 4 pips is full admiral.
but a fleet admiral is supposed to be like the highest rank. So
Yeah.
But
who knows? Maybe
but
admirals just
she
get
also
the
has
same
3
pips no
pips.
matter what.
But I love this episode because Data gets command of a starship. So this is
Yeah,
the-
and, and he tells his executive officer to go piss vertically
Yeah.
upward.
yeah.
According to this random Star Trek blog I found, Fleet Admiral's supposed to be 5 pips.
Yeah.
Each
Okay,
side,
okay.
right? Yeah.
I mean,
But
fine.
Shanthi only has 3. Look, don't worry about it. Don't worry
She's
about it.
a vice admiral.
This is the best
Vice
episode.
admiral.
Also, there's no way this would work in real life because space is 3D. You do not have nearly enough ships. You're going to need like tens of thousands of ships to make this work.
Yeah.
They have what, 40?
Look, they have a net, okay? They just have a net. And
They
then
have a
catch
net
the
around
ships.
like 1 light year.
Yeah.
It's not enough.
By the way, Picard has a subconscious bias against his own second officer here.
He does.
And he's a little bit embarrassed, and that's why he right away corrects that mistake.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you
That's the
treating me
difference
like dirt,
between
Captain?
Systematic racism and overt racism. He's not trying to be racist toward Data. He's just
I mean, it's
26
he
years in
has an unconscious
Starfleet.
bias.
Sorry, that's where he said, because we were talking about it 2 episodes ago when he was
Oh, yeah.
In the entirety of the Next Generation, we get Data in a red uniform twice.
Yep.
As far
Oh,
as I
what's the second
recall.
time?
We
It was
get
in
Future
Futures.
Imperfect.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
And
And,
Jellicoe puts him in a red uniform.
Yeah. I always liked
Yeah.
seeing him in a red uniform.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I love it.
It looks wrong to me.
In Star Trek Countdown, he's also in red. Co-producer Ronald D. Moore.
But yeah.
Bit of the standard Klingon
Quickly, I was going to
fun
say,
times.
Data being in Starfleet 26 years and only reaching Lieutenant Commander seems kind of disappointing, actually.
Huh?
Don't
I
worry,
mean-
he has basically infinite years to get up in the
No, I know.
you have
Like,
to consi-
for
you
him,
have to
that's fine, but if I
have
entered Starfleet and I was 20 and I was like 46 and I'd only hit Lieutenant Commander, like, clearly I'm not doing great.
Look, Riker's
I mean, you
still
have-
commander.
He came through the science division. That's why science division is very slow promotion.
Oh, you're right.
very
If I went through
Commander Ops. If you went Commander Ops, you'd already
Yeah,
be a
because-
captain.
yeah, because I would start out he basically is a command trainee, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay, good point. Thank you.
Bit trivia.
I come to this stream to learn stuff.
He's also busy singing Irving Berlin songs, so that's why.
Oh, that's true.
No, I don't think he wants the promotions like that. You know, like.
Yeah, I think
my very nature precludes ambition.
Right.
Yeah. Also, just kind of working more at a at a level like that, dealing with people helps him learn about people, which is kind of his main skill.
And then another thing is, though, this is a real life. Sometimes when you're too good at your job, they don't promote you because that way they lose you. So
if they can't replace you, they won't promote you. You're indispensable.
Unfortunately, military organizations work according to the opposite logic. They promote you as long as you're good, meaning you are constantly leaving jobs you're good at, and they stop promoting you when they find a job you suck at. And then you suck at the job, and you suck at the job forever. And what's worse, you suck at the job when you're in charge of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of that before. It's true.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, consider Starfleet admirals.
At the Pentagon is.
I'm gonna guess from your tone of voice, you've had some experience with that.
I mean, I'm not sure it's much better in the private sector. You fail upwards there. Like, you just somebody completely incompetent keeps moving up because they keep putting them in new positions because they don't want
there's a lot of
have to deal with them.
I've seen that. When I interned at Fox
News, he was just given a massively glowing recommendation from his last ship just so they could get rid of him.
So when I interned at Fox News, I was at the morning show, and the executive producer was the son of like some big guy at the New York Post because it's all owned by News Corp and Rupert Murdoch. And they wanted to get rid of the executive producer. They promoted him by making him vice president of TV Guide, and he got promoted up. Like he got fired up, basically.
Oh, it's a racist. We found the racist.
Because that's the only way you can get rid of people, by like promoting them.
You have to admit that this episode's designated racist is kind of right. You wouldn't want a Klingon counselor.
That's racist.
Hey. Racist. Hey. Ryan, can we ban this person? Because
I would, but I don't actually know who is talking at that point. So.
Okay. No, but okay. Kalar's an ambassador. They have scientists. But no, I got your point. I didn't mean to overreact. Sorry.
Okay. Let me rephrase. You wouldn't want a warrior Klingon as your counselor. Whatever problem you came to the gentleman or lady with, they'd be like, just cut them the hell up. That's the solution.
Okay.
I feel like instead of Darmok next, we should watch that Enterprise episode where the Klingons like, you didn't think all of us were warriors, did you? That'd just be stupid.
I love Data here.
Warriors.
He just nonchalantly says, "Okay."
We see one Klingon scientist in one episode. Remember?
Oh, there we go.
Denied.
Request denied.
You just
this
said
actor playing Hobson is Timothy Carhart, who's been in a ton of stuff. He's in Thelma and Louise. He's been in Black Sheep. He's on the show Yellowstone now.
But he's not in any other Star Trek, as far as I'm aware.
I don't think so. No,
he might
but
be in a game
he's
or something. But
he's a recognizable face. I mean, he shows up a lot on television.
By the way,
is he racist in the other shows too?
Kind of. I mean, he does play villains quite a bit.
So you could say something racist to Data, and he would just won't mind it, and he'll just say "request denied," like no offense taken.
I think that Constellation class ship was actually the Stargazer. It looked like it had some black spots on it from being shot at.
Wow.
And I don't know why they would ever make just another Constellation class. They might as well use the same model. It just has some paint left over.
It's probably the Hathaway.
That's a good line. Science the child or send them. If anyone comes on stream with a kid, that's what I'm going to say.
Somebody in chat proposed the idea of counselors Larson Bator, and I'm all for that. I love the Dura sisters. They're just such fun characters.
Is anyone else getting like a rubbing or a static noise?
Shell vacuum, I think.
Oh, what am I doing?
It's like a rubbing or a static noise, kind of.
Sorry, perhaps
I'm not sure, but I'll switch to push talk.
Are you playing with balloons over there?
It could just be like a
got busted.
I just love seeing Gowron on screen. Every time Gowron is on screen, I just have fun.
He's awesome.
Such a fun character.
So
He's loving it.
Man. He's an eye actor.
That's how he got the job.
Yeah, like Steve Buscemi.
Yes. Good point. Or Anya Taylor-Joy. There you go.
That's racist, Worf.
The Discord
Also,
stream, just people posting Gowron memes. It's great.
How are the Klingons cool with this, where Gowron stabs man who can't fight back? How is that okay? He's still alive, though. He's breathing very clearly. God, put on the uniform, Troy. You're on duty.
You have to agree with Jellicoe on that one.
I do.
Oh yeah, I agree with Jellicoe on a lot of things.
He gave Data the red uniform. He gave Troy any uniform at all.
Yeah, but everything else was wrong.
Jellicoe was completely right about everything. He was just a jerk.
No.
He was just mean.
No.
Yeah, he was right.
No, from sad experience, the worst thing a new commanding officer can do is come into a unit and start micromanaging everything to be the way he got used to at his previous
They all do
unit.
that, though. They all do that.
Well, why do you think enlisted people love officers that much? Because they all do that.
Yeah.
And even from a tactical point of view, when you consider Jellicoe's actions, they're unoptimal. The gentleman comes into a new ship in time of potential war and starts changing things. He messes up the battle readiness.
He does almost start a war, but here's the thing: the Cardassians are playing around too much, so that's why he has to like.
You do not start messing with a machine that works.
He's more of a dick in Stargate.
I'm okay with him being a dick. I'm okay with commanding officers being dicks. The decisions he made were unoptimal strategically and tactically.
By the way, Data's being a dick right here. He's like, undo what you just did, and then do it again.
Yeah. Actually, doesn't say undo it.
I was gonna say, guys, we can talk about Jellicoe when we're watching the Jellicoe episode. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just one of my favorites.
Oh, it's I love the passion, man.
Of course.
Oh man.
But
what is that camera view?
Data does care about human life, and that's what the problem is, because he assumes that like he won't care about flooding the decks with radiation. But he misjudges Data here. Oh look, space is 2D.
You have to assume that Data does some kind of calculation to weigh up lives against lives.
Mm-hmm.
And
are you saying needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few? Is that what?
Never heard that before.
Obviously, he makes some kind of calculation, and to people who do not know,
we technically do. Like, we just don't.
Even
aware of it.
Even the episode where Troy takes the commander test, she orders the holographic Geordie to go into a radioactive area. So yes, the needs of the many do outweigh the needs of the few.
Sometimes.
The one.
Sometimes.
Something I'd always been wondering about with the tachyon grid thing is why don't they just send a bunch of Romulan ships carrying nothing through the tachyon just to trigger the detection? And then they realize, they're not carrying any supplies.
How often do we see O'Brien on the bridge? Seems weird.
That's a good question.
But this is kind of based on the Cuban Missile Crisis, when you have to have a blockade around Cuba. So you have to do a defensive thing without being aggressive towards the nuclear missiles.
Now the difference there is Cuba is actually physically possible to blockade.
You're so funny. You're so funny.
Also, hey Denise.
Ryan, take a vacation, dude. Star Trek was never very physical.
No.
No, but he had a dream a couple of nights ago that he was telling Siddiq Al-Fadil his full name, and the actor found it amusing. So he really doesn't need a break because his whole brain is like filled with this.
I almost never have Star Trek related dreams. Almost never.
It's far too often.
Maybe like one a year.
They really hide it, but even in Star Trek, they sometimes throw in hints to the complex relationship between Starfleet enlisted and Starfleet commissioned personnel. You can see it in the episode Family, when Worf's parents come aboard, and O'Brien greets the father. He greets him with the sir. And O'Brien's father, a former enlisted man himself, replies with a traditional reply, "Don't call me sir, I work for a living."
Yes.
Yeah, Worf's father.
Mr. Rozhenko.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
Don't call me sir, I work for a living. Traditional.
I was going to ask, when you have your Star Trek dreams, which series are you in?
TNG.
None.
Oh,
I dreamed about an anvil.
In that specific dream that I happened to mention, I just like met the actor, and that was it.
Oh, wait, which era? Or who was it?
Bashir, Siddiq Al-Tahil Fadl Abdurrahman Muhammad Ahmed Abdul Karim Al-Makti.
Oh, nice.
Excuse me?
Siddiq Al-Tahil Fadl Abdurrahman Muhammad Ahmed Abdul Karim Al-Makti.
We had
He's
the
been doing
discussion
this for
last
4
week.
seasons now.
Oh.
Man, after DS9 is over, I'm not going to be able to say it. I have to find someone in the next series who has a fun name.
Mm-hmm.
But they all have boring names, like William Shatner. Oh boy.
What are we gonna watch after TNG and DS9?
TOS, baby.
Probably TOS.
Maybe I'll be down.
And Voyager.
And then Enterprise.
Maybe TOS and Voyager, then after TOS, Enterprise.
Yeah. TOS is only 3 seasons.
I'm still kind of disappointed I missed the start of DS9. I thought I could get into it with people. Maybe I'll convince my girlfriend to become Trekkie.
Oh, right on.
I am not, faint signal, I am not obsessed with Siddiq Al-Tahil Fadl Abdurrahman Muhammad Ahmed Abdul Karim Al-Makti. I just think he has a fun name.
By the way, Guinan is like mansplaining it to Picard in this episode right now.
Whoopie-splaining.
No, to whoever was saying about DS9, no, the DS9 chats are great on here too, and it's really a great series to watch with people and discuss. So if there's any way you can catch up or jump in on that, I'd highly recommend. It's such a good show.
Two problems. I don't want to jump in the middle because I know the DS9 is much more plot based.
Yeah, and there's long storylines.
I don't remember anything. And secondly, I live in a country where we rest on Fridays and Saturdays.
Okay.
Well, okay, right on, man.
See the problem?
But Deep Space Nine, the war hasn't started, so you could definitely jump in right now. It's not a bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you're gonna jump in now, I would say do it now as opposed to
season are we on?
weeks.
What season are we on?
Season 4.
I think like the very end of season 4. Actually, no, we're on season 5. We just finished season 4.
We will be starting season 5 tomorrow.
So Dominion War is about to start.
Yeah.
In earnest.
If you're watching,
there's been
if you're watching any of the shows for the first time, it's probably not a good idea to watch them in this stream because we spoil everything.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
Good point.
That's true.
Kind of. I mean, the spoilers aren't that bad, really. I think we kind of dance around it enough.
Yeah.
Wait, we do? I explicitly spoil the ending just to talk about it.
It happens, but we don't focus on it. We kind of comment. I think we kind of comment on things that are happening on screen and not so much in future minutes.
Yeah, but we also spoil things. The whole problem with spoilers is.
But then we talk about our own problems with unemployment and stuff.
I'll say this, it's not ideal, but watching particularly the TNG episodes, because it's not a series I've rewatched a ton, I don't remember what happens sometimes in this stuff, and even if you guys kind of make passing mentions at it, it doesn't really ruin it for me. It's vague enough, I think. Unless you're really specific, I guess.
I'm going to digress and ask, and this is going to be a stupid question, but in this era with these uniforms, do Starfleet personnel always wear a belt? Because I sometimes notice the belt and forget it exists.
I've never noticed the belt.
There's no belt.
Picard has a belt right now. I noticed it when he walked in.
I know Odo has a storyline about his belt.
Yeah, but that's not a Starfleet uniform.
No, that's Bajoran.
Yeah, I think there's like a strip of fabric. It's not like a normal belt, but there's something there.
Something,
sometimes they have a pistol belt when they go on away missions.
Right.
Now, if only they had a pistol holster instead of just slapping it to their side. So
I wonder if whatever is there has some utilitarian function where it operates somehow with the holster.
It's just a magnetic belt, so you can clip anything onto.
Yeah, or if like you're an engineer, you might have a tool set belt thing. I don't know.
Do you suppose the walls are magnetic though of the ship? So if you're wearing your magnetic belt and you brush against the wall, you're stuck for a second.
And somebody can come over there and rotate you.
You're late again? What happened? The belt got stuck in the wall.
Barclay, where were you? Some command ensigns picked me up and stuck me to a wall, Commander.
Then they stole his lunch money.
Poor Barclay.
Broccoli.
Broccoli.
He's my favorite and least favorite Star Trek character.
It took me like 10 minutes to figure out how like Tasha's daughter is the same age as her, because like I had to really like chew on it.
Temporal mechanics.
Yeah, that's how.
Enterprise.
Call back to that episode
because we have to find a way to get Denise Crosby in this episode.
What's the
makes
name?
sense.
Like, indirectly, this is Picard's fault, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's what Guinan was saying.
What's the name of the dude Tasha Yar gets a crush on? Because I know that actor.
Scooter McGavin.
Castillo. Richard Castillo.
He's all over the place. Usually he plays assholes in movies. Like in romantic comedies, he plays the rich asshole all the time.
Play Scooter from Happy Gilmore, Scooter McGavin. Never mind.
So baby Tasha ratted out on her mother because she was trying to escape. That's how Romulan she is to the core.
Oof. There's also an outtake with Richard Castillo where there's that scene where Tasha like calls him by his first name. It's like, oh, my mother calls me Richard. It's like, okay, Richard. No, I think I'd prefer if you called me Richard. Okay, Castillo. I think I'd prefer if you called me Richard. In the outtake, instead of I think I'd prefer that.
Dick, yeah.
Says, no, I'd prefer if you called me Dick.
One of your competing channels already stuck it in.
Yes.
There's no competition. There's just imitation.
Yikes.
War.
I'm going to have to find these other channels.
Whoa.
Worf is almost seduced.
I mean, he was asleep. You can't hold that
against. When he's half awake, yeah.
Clean and milkers.
Playing on cleavage with a K.
Cleavage with an apostrophe.
Yes. Oh my god, that's perfect.
Dating tip number 21. If somebody hates you, do not start like pawing at their face.
I meant to write all those down.
I'm sorry, Ryan, but belligerent erotic relationships are very erotic.
Nope. Dating tip number 22. Do not drug your crush and bring them back to your house.
I mean... Yeah.
Also,
I don't think they're too worried about morals.
Don't seduce your political enemies, because they probably don't like you.
Damn, you people don't know what excitement is.
Are you a secret agent?
No.
So
that's exactly what a secret agent would say.
Is this the Russian disinformation campaign we're looking for?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is your partner the opposite of you politically, and like you enjoy that or something?
Actually, no. I'm in a very loving relationship.
Okay.
With your hand.
But you ever drug your partner? Do you ever? No. Don't drug people.
Let's get back to the episode.
Yeah, we got a fishnet.
There's a lot going on.
Fishnet. Let's look for this belt, because I have not seen this belt.
It was only on his uniform in that scene where he was talking to baby Tasha.
Okay.
They wear it if they need to clip something to it.
Yeah, but he had nothing on it. Occasionally you watch people, they're on the ship, not on an away mission, and they just randomly have a belt.
I had this winter coat that had like this black felt sash that you kind of closed it with, so I'm thinking it would look something like that.
Like, I think like a real world answer is probably just it's a wardrobe department decision thing where they're like, this isn't kind of staying where we need it to, maybe throw a belt on, or, oh, this doesn't look quite right.
That is
maybe
clearly
throw a
the
belt
Enterprise
on
C. That ship even had the battle damage from the Enterprise C.
Probably to get a new model.
It's a coincidence.
It wasn't even like a new shot of the same model. It was just the same shot from yesterday's Enterprise. It was a reused clip.
It's scary that you remember that.
Well, they only have one shot, so it's easy to remember. They only have one shot of that ship. They only have one shot of a bird of prey exploding. They only have one shot of the Enterprise flying with an Excelsior class.
Exploding in the previous episode. In the previous part.
I was recently watching bits of the Abrams Trek movies, and they did all those. In all of those movies, you see some redesigns on classic Trek aliens. And there's the Romulans in the first movie, and you know how they make their ears even pointier, and they got rid of the cool haircuts. I was so disappointed. They don't have the Romulan bob cuts.
I mean, you say cool. What do you mean by cool?
Cool is subjective.
Look, I'm young, okay? I enjoy the Abrams Trek movies to some extent, especially
I like the movies. I just don't think the bob cut is cool.
Okay, it's not cool, but it's iconic.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
And I'm with you, man. I like the Abrams movies too for what they are.
They're fun. And Carl Urban is an amazing actor.
He's fantastic. He is the only reason Dredd works.
Yep.
That actress, I don't think brings a lot to the table in that, unfortunately.
There's a Saturday Night Live bit where Chris Pine does a Shatner impression.
And he does it very well.
It's perfect. He does it perfectly. He doesn't overdo it. That's the surprising thing. He doesn't go full ham. He does it, just right.
That's the thing. Like Kevin Pollak in the '90s did a really good Shatner impression, but as he got older, he exaggerated it too much, and it just wasn't as funny. I think you have to kind of tie it up,
Sorry, not Tasha. Denise. I feel like Denise was being a bit racist here, where she said the weakest ship is the one with the android captain. Why would you assume that? Well, just because it's an android captain?
I think he has the least command experience.
Also, I believe it was literally just like the spot, the coincidence. Hey, O'Brien has pips in this.
Oh yeah, he
sometimes randomly has pips.
Now he doesn't. They're gone now. Oh
no, they're just
in shadow.
shrouded. Sometimes he has that black pip associated with him, but sometimes he also just randomly has Lieutenant pips.
Yeah, Carl Urban he's also Éomer, son of Éamund. He is Billy Butcher in The Boys. Of course, he's Bones.
Yeah, I love The Boys. That's a great show.
I only watched it because of Carl Urban.
You did not mention Two Towers, and that makes me angry.
No, you didn't. You didn't.
No, Éomer, son of Éamund.
No. I have stupid ears.
Like a Romulan.
Slam dunk. Oh my god, that was good.
Well played. See, this guy The red shirt here, he's great. He just goes along with it. Data wants you to do something, you do it. Mr. Hobson's the one who's being racist.
Widow speak here, getting angry.
So he could just contact Picard and say, "Oh, by the way, I have this great idea that will catch them." He doesn't have to be silent and disobey orders.
We have to maintain radio silence in case the Romulans are monitoring our communications. There we go.
There's a game I play sometimes called Star Trek Bridge Crew, where one player is the captain, one player is tactical, one player is helmet, one player is engineering. And then, having been the captain a lot, I know exactly how frustrating it is when you're trying to do a strategy and people are like, no, that's a stupid idea. You haven't thought through. It's like, no, trust me, it's going to work. I know what I'm doing. Just do it. Just bring the phasers online. I have a plan.
Here's the part where he just solves the problem like a badass.
Oh, look at all that subspace inertial displacement. You could shoot them.
Oh, look, he's going to shoot them.
There we go. There's Data pretending to be angry. Pretend to be angry so you get the results. I don't recall Data telling you to put that on audio. Mr. Hobson, are you going to do it?
I love how in this episode, Data basically discovers a way to locate cloaked ships, and we just never talk about it again.
Oh no, he was only able to do that because they had sent out the tachyon super beam or whatever.
No,
she tries to
flooded the area with tachyon particles.
You'd still expect that to be some kind of future military strategy on the...
Yeah, I mean, it's like time travel. We learn it, then we forget it.
Yeah. No, time travel has the prime directive excuse.
Not in TOS, it didn't.
There's no temporal prime directive.
Temporal prime directive.
That's in the 29th century. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
No, they talk about it
in the 24th.
Yeah, they definitely talk about it.
We don't have a temporal prime directive. We have an Omega directive.
There's definitely a temporal prime directive in Next Generation, or at least in
that's cool.
I remember them referencing it in Voyager.
Yeah, Ryan's gonna do a whole search through all TNG right now for temporal prime directive, and he's gonna.
I mean, I can just open up Notepad++, press the search
people
button.
Temporal investigations certainly act like there's a temporal prime directive.
Yeah, temporal investigations would be on it. Captain Kirk, 33 separate temporal violations. The man was a menace.
Worf is supposed to be executed here by a Romulan, but
he's the main character, so he gets saved.
But the Dura sisters beam out,
which is a great looking effect.
Yes, and then
Michael Dorn has a contract. We can't kill him,
and they leave his kid behind.
People love Worf.
Kern walks in at the exact moment.
Perfect.
Yep.
Good timing.
This great.
Your
Your
brother would have been shot in the back of the head. Sorry.
All right, this great look from Tony Todd. Fantastic.
Hey, look, it's Qo'nos.
This is pretty graphic, by the way, because it's implied that they're going to torture a kid or something.
It's fine. He deserves it.
Yeah. I was hesitating to say that out loud. I'm glad somebody else did.
Torture in my Star Trek?
No.
There are four.
What do you mean? And when Discovery, when they had the torture scenes of Discovery, people said that we had never seen that before, that it was too graphic for Star Trek.
True. Oh, that was in Picard when Icheb is being dissected too.
That
was different.
Star Trek. That was pretty bad.
Data is such a good officer. He saves the day and still submits himself for a disciplinary action.
Yes. Also, I looked it up. The only time they use the phrase temporal prime directive is Voyager.
Thank you. There's no temporal prime directive in TNG. But obviously if it's in Voyager, it would be in
TNG. Like 29th century.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, fine, I'm wrong.
Well, and I would think in Enterprise, there's got to be some reference to it, right?
It's the temporal Cold War.
Scripts, no.
That's when the suited guy shows up. But he's from the 29th century, which is why I was doing what I was doing.
But they still follow it. Like DS9 has that episode, and they get. I mean, otherwise temporal investigations wouldn't exist.
During the Cuban Missile Crisis, I think they actually gave the order to launch a missile, and like one of the guys on the American submarine says like, "Okay, I'm not going to launch the missile." But that would be like that guy being reprimanded for like not causing World War III in 1960.
I thought you were going to say something about the temporal prime directive with the Cuban Missile Crisis.
No, it's just the world almost ended in 1960
and knew that the missiles hadn't actually been launched.
Yeah,
and that's how he knew not to fire.
Right. JFK didn't want to mess with the timeline, even leading to his own assassination.
Look at that beautiful "everyone nods at everyone" shot.
Yeah,
it was that guy in the black suit who shows up on Enterprise. What's his name?
Daniels.
Yes, so that's who it was on the submarine. Thanks, Daniels.
Oh my God, do we live in Star Trek canon now? That's awesome.
But
I hope we don't live in Star Trek canon, because if we do, things are going to get real bad in the next few years.
I mean,
I think World War III was supposed to have already happened by now.
No, the eugenics wars happened in 1999.
I was going to say, don't we all remember the launch of the Botany Bay in the 90s?
Yeah.
99.
Also, that means we somehow forget the proof of Fermat's last theorem.
Oh yeah,
World War III is supposed to happen in a couple years.
Yeah,
that might still happen.
The United States in Star Trek has implied that it does not live to its 300th birthday. So sometime before 2076, we don't have America anymore.
That sounds
I wasn't
right.
sure we'd make it through last year, so you know.
Still going strong.
I wouldn't go that far.
Still going. Still going.
The Republic almost collapsed this January, but yeah.
The Rise and Fall of the Roman Empire, Volume 7.
The History of the Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire by Sir Edward Gibbon.
Really nice blocking here with the back of the character in the foreground, and then Worf, and then Klingons in the background.
Stab him right in his stupid face.
Do you think Worf is right in not killing?
This entire scene is probably my favorite Gowron scene, with the whole "perhaps but not today" line.
Right.
It's so Gowron.
Yeah, it's very Klingon. But Kern here is willing to do it because Gowron says that it falls upon Kern, and Worf stops it because otherwise we would have had a kid with his bowels cut open on this show.
Mm. We missed out, is what you're saying.
Sure, it's the moral thing not to stab him, but it would be so practical to stab him.
Well, isn't this character in DS9 at some point? And it's like, you had to, so just bite him.
Do you think YouTube is going to shut me down for condoning stabbing a child?
We didn't. We're praising
I feel like we've talked about worse things.
Okay.
I don't. Okay. This is up there.
It's okay. He's a Klingon child. He's not a real child.
I guess it's like Greta Thunberg in our present day. Some people would like her gutted. Some people hate her. Like, she...
Hopefully nobody here would condone stabbing Greta.
No.
Don't do that.
Oh no, that's definitely the thing to do.
Like a nice young lady.
She is. She sailed to America because she didn't want to use the carbon emissions.
Oh, that's cool.
Someone had to fly to her to pilot the sailing ship so that she didn't have to fly. It was kind of pointless.
Moving straight along, the next episode is Darmok.
Darmok and Jaladat Tanagra.
Darmok.
Shaka, the walls fall.
For those of you who are YouTube members, there is a Darmok emote. We just get that in the chat, post that a few times. There's some Darmoks.
Hold up, let me prepare it. Gotta have it ready.
And 1 minute countdown to Darmok. This is the last episode.
And then,
that's a
6
beautiful
years later on
Gowron.
SG1, we have the episode. What was it called again?
Do you have the what?
There's an episode called Fire and Water where Daniel's remembering stuff, and it's kind of similar-ish in terms of the phrases. It's like he's trying to learn the other language in a similar way.
I'm going to use this short break to once again preach the objectively correct opinion that the best Starfleet uniform is the late 23rd century uniform.
Fencing,
and nobody can say otherwise.
Put an underscore before that, and then put colons around it. :Ryan Darmok : Or just click on the emojis button where you can just click on it. And press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
I'm glad nobody rose to that challenge.
Watching the second half of TNG, we're past the second half now, but I told one of my friends watching season 6 and 7, it's like Patrick Stewart is so into this role, he's barely trying. Like all he has to do is just like look at the camera or like turn his face and make it so. Like he's just
the adventure jacket.
I'm very sorry, but we have to applaud the casual duty attire. Everybody, the jacket. The most stylish captain uniform in Star Trek.
So what I was saying was, go ahead.
Just real quickly on the uniforms. So you said the late 23rd century. Are those
the red ones?
What is that like late? Like what series or movie would that be?
None.
Original series movies.
Late TOS movies. Enterprise.
Okay,
C,
so like Star Trek 6.
Yeah, the red uniforms.
Yeah, with like the and there's
jackets?
like the white.
Yeah,
The white flip strap kind of thing.
Yeah. Cadet Picard.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, I like those. Right on. I do like the this Enterprise NX-01 uniforms quite a bit though.
You did it, Face Signal. I'm very proud of you. You made the Darmok symbol. Yeah, that ship is quite triangular, but it's not the triangle. It's not even close to the triangle.
It has a triangle.
Your timestamp is wrong in the.
Oh god, the timestamp is so wrong. Oh no. Okay,
2 minutes and 10, 9, 8, 7.
Hang on, I'll fix it manually. Don't worry about it.
5, 4. Okay.
I'm actually slightly.
Okay, it should be correct now when it shows up on stream again. Okay, it's correct now. We did it. I fixed it. Don't worry.
There's only an extra 8 people on the stream as opposed to in the Discord.
I really wanted that jacket, and there's one company that does that jacket in proper leather and suede, and it's just so expensive. One day.
How expensive?
American dream. Like $300, $400.
Oh wow, yeah, that's.
I mean, it's quality materials.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind doing it, but the problem is it's not something I would like wear every day or often enough to rationalize that at this point. Yeah,
it's not my color.
No, same. I'm good with blues.
Momate.
So I was saying a few minutes ago is just it's like Picard isn't even trying Patrick Stewart isn't even trying anymore. He's just organically in the role. But here though, he's actually brings it again. Like he's definitely not bored in this episode. But I can see, especially as the series winds down, he's just showing. All he has to do is show up because he's just Patrick Stewart at this point. Like, the show is successful, his career is successful, his life is set.
Shaka when the walls fell down.
So, Captain Dathon here, the alien captain. If you guys remember Wrath of Khan, that scene where Khan put the weird worms down Captain Terrell.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that.
That's Captain Terrell. That was the captain who shot himself at the end because he was being mind controlled.
Oof, that's awesome.
Oh,
So this guy dies a lot.
He was black, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a black guy.
Yes, he's the black man.
Just making sure I remember correctly.
Captain Terrell.
Okay, right.
He's also in Terminator.
Does he die in Terminator?
In the police raid, I forget if he dies. I think he does.
That was great acting.
In that police.
Because you really believe he was like controlled by a parasite and like Chekhov, and it was in pain and everything. And finally, he's like, "I can't do it. I'm a Starfleet officer." Oh, by the way, in tomorrow's DS9 episode, there's a Jem'Hadar warship that the crew finds, and I realized it's the same setting as this Darmok episode, which is, I think somebody looked it up, probably Mike, because he knows a lot of trivia. But it's a mine or something that they use.
Yeah, they have a quarry in northern Los Angeles.
It's a great cliff set.
Yeah, apparently it's been used in Trek a lot.
That mountain there was the same mountain from the season 7 episode Attached, where Picard and Beverly are escaping down the like a gravel.
Oh, right.
Where
now
he reads her
I
mind.
recognize it.
Well, she reads his mind.
Is it the cliff where the guys look for them and they hide?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, everybody watch the stars around fake molten Saturn. When it pans back to the left.
It's fine at the start, and then it's just like what?
Wow.
Why did you ever unsee it?
They put money into that one.
I mean, it's not a bad effect. You don't really.
No, it's a
notice
great
it.
effect. It's a great effect.
No, it's not the Vasquez rocks. We do see the Vasquez rocks a lot, but these are not the Vasquez rocks. I know that Vulcan in the Abrams 2009 movie, Vulcan has like 30 Vasquez rocks right next to each other.
Did you catch the warp title effect?
It's beautiful.
No, I was looking at the chat.
Ryan missed it last time.
I missed it this time, but I saw it the last time.
Ryan will catch it next week.
Yeah,
it's okay.
It as well. It's the intro, so I'm doing other stuff, you know.
No, you gotta pay attention. What if you see a triangle ship?
Though. I don't. Yeah, we're not getting any triangle ships this week. Maybe in DS9, but definitely not in TNG today.
The Darmok
the Darmok ship has a triangle ship glued onto the front.
It has a kind of triangle, but that's a different triangle model.
By the way, the Darmok ship is like more powerful than the Enterprise. They like disable their engines in one shot. They like cover the whole planet with a scattering field to prevent them from beaming their captain back up.
Also, Riker's uniform here is much brighter than usual.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
It was just cleaned.
Yeah,
he got a critical role clean. Look at it.
I mean, I think the lighting is extra bright because Picard's not there.
No, compared to the other red shirt in the background.
True. Yeah, it's almost like blood red.
Of course, Worf assumes it's a contest where they just kill each other. I guess this is a subversion of the Gowron episode, where they actually are, the captains are sent in a contest. Though why does Captain Dathon have beads on his jacket?
True. You know, but by the way, just the storytelling of this episode is because when you watch it the first time, you're really clueless, and also it gives you a real insight into what a first contact is really like.
It's really great.
It is.
This episode is the best episode to introduce someone to Star Trek with.
Oh, right on. I was going to say, this has been used and pointed to and written about in academic circles as far as like linguistics and how languages kind of evolve and fit together.
Yeah. You know, on that note, there is I learned that, like, I don't know if primitive is the right word, but primitive societies, right? Like, the way the legal system would work is that the reason you have all these proverbs in any society is because when you go before, not the judge, but let's say the tribal elder or the village elder, is that you want to quote whatever aphorism or maxim proves you right. So, like, that's how tribal justice used to work. So,
and,
anecdotes and
the
stories.
legal system is a version of that. I mean, there's precedent, there's past,
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, but we don't care what story you got to tell for the judge of like what Aesop's fables or Hansel or Gretel did, you know. But then you could say,
now it's
Supreme
it's
Court
larger
precedent.
than that.
Yeah,
you can.
Here's the part of that episode where Riker and the alien first officer are screaming at each other.
But you're right. It is fundamentally the same. It's like when you say, you know, the police and Miranda in 1954.
Spoiler for later in the episode, but it's quite interesting that this is Darmok and Jalad. This is all a bonding thing between them. For them to fight together against the creature.
Uzani his army. Shaka when the walls fell.
And it's hilarious when Data and Troy are going through the whole Federation database of like anywhere Darmok and Tanagra show up.
And the computer's just being a dick about it.
Yeah.
It's like, I have found results for Darmok. Darmok is a mytho-historical hunter. You know, it's also a drink, and it's this other guy, and it's this place, and it's a person, and it's a drink. And
you know, what I realized watching this episode though is also that like not only so when Picard says the story of Gilgamesh at the end of the episode when they finally understand each other, Gilgamesh and mytho-historic warrior, right? That's what Gilgamesh is. He was a hunter in Sumeria who killed all the wild animals in the forests and made it safe for civilization. And so the thing is though, the god for the Sumerians was named Marduk, and Marduk and Darmok are really a playoff of each other. So I realized that they are retelling the mythopoetic warrior story of Gilgamesh in this whole episode.
I haven't gone around to reading the Epic of Gilgamesh. I need to do that. Seems good.
Yeah, I had the same thought. Every time I watch this episode, I'm like, I should read that.
No, I mean, I watched this when I was like 14, 15 years old, and it just occurred. Well, I was a comparative religion major in school. My religion professor, the head of the department, she wrote a book about creation myths from all over the world, and obviously Gilgamesh goes in there.
I love the
they have creation myths if people in the past didn't have imaginations of any kind.
I love the Tamarian makeup and prosthetics look.
Tamarian.
Tamarian.
Some of the better prosthetics in the series.
Potato. Oh.
Yeah. No, it is fantastic. You believe he's an alien.
Tamaria?
Yeah.
Hot Tamarian.
I was afraid of saying it wrong, so I read it, and I still said it wrong.
You know,
I've never noticed the beads before, and now they're throwing me off.
The beads are really
Watching Next Generation, I occasionally notice how the creators of Star Trek severely underestimated the power of computers.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
How so?
Well, the average Star Trek ship computer, when asked to look up some information in the libraries, will look for it for... Well, it can take several minutes to several hours if it's something obscure.
Yeah.
Now, compared to a modern search engine...
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We done?
I mean, we've also noted, though, there's no cameras on the ship. So it's like they didn't figure that we lived in a world where CCTV cameras were as cheap as $20 and you could put it on every city corner. And that's what all police departments are doing.
I'm thinking that scene where Troy is questioning the computer and she has to give this whole long command like, please cross-reference the previous search entry with the previous search index.
Right.
It's like, just say and. You can just say and. It's a search engine.
Yeah.
Darmok and Jalad.
Look, they were working hard, and that had to be expressed somehow.
Beads look like they're bedazzled on. If anyone knows what that is,
They're weird. Yes, Temba is a person. His arms wide because he wants a hug.
When Picard's on the bridge and he asks, like, what are they saying? Data says they're all using pronouns. So yes, Timba is a person because that's all proper nouns.
The universal translator's working. It's just there's no translation.
No, I mean they set this episode up in the first scene, but they also unfolded very beautifully.
As I say, makeup looks good in a close-up, except maybe the nose.
Yep, they share here. You know, with like he gives him a blanket later too.
I like the nose. I think it looks pretty good.
I love it.
It looks okay. I don't know.
Caring.
They kind of black out parts to look up like nostrils, and it just looks like black makeup.
By the way, we never figure out what this beast thing is. We just get our captain out in the nick of time.
It's some weird electricity thing. It has like dinosaur head.
It's a Gorn. It's an invisible Gorn.
It's a Jem'Hadar given too much Ketracel white.
Yeah, we see the outline of it when it's going all electric.
It's more like just a phased invisible thing. Like it's bending the light around it.
You said, oh my. Every time someone says Jem'Hadar, because I didn't watch enough DS9, what I hear is the rice and sex ritual. The
no, Jem'Hadar.
Yeah.
But Riker had his foot on the chair right there, so that's a Riker maneuver.
Oh yeah. That's not Tracy, is it?
Who?
That shuttle's not going anywhere.
In the shuttle, no, that is not Tracy.
Yeah, I only noticed her for half a second because I was looking something up.
Apparently, Worf's the best pilot now.
Canonically, who's the best pilot on the Enterprise?
Riker, I think.
Riker. All right.
Riker at one point is referred to as the best pilot in Starfleet, I believe.
By is it the Jelly episode?
Oh no, that's Paris. Shoot, you're right. Yeah, but the best on the Enterprise by we talked about it, right? The Pegasus episode.
So the Tamarian ship is also a Claystron starship, a Talani cruiser, and a Bothan starship. Not Bothan from Star Wars, Star Trek Bothans. It's also a Drayan starship. Basically, it just shows up occasionally, but it's not the Triangle ship. Whenever I see that model, I always think it's Zeppelite for some reason, but it's not Zeppelite.
Hey, the D&D video.
D&D video?
Yeah, in Worf's mind, Captain Picard is disemboweling the Dharma, the other captain right now.
For 12 hours now.
Yeah.
That's a long battle.
I mean, Picard is canonically pretty good at kicking ass in hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah. But, obviously since they took down 2 knives on the surface, it kind of makes sense. Like, it was some kind of ritual combat.
Maybe he just has a knife. I carry a pocket knife. That doesn't mean I'm planning to duel someone.
Did you carry it to school?
Wait, what? Why are you carrying it then? What a waste.
No, people who live in the rural area, like a carving knife or a wood knife or like a hunting knife is not a big deal.
I don't carry a big hunting knife. I carry a multi-tool that has a knife on it.
Yeah. So, in the Sikh religion from India, you're supposed to have like a little ritual dagger on you at all times, just to represent the warrior masculine ethic.
Yeah, they get exemption from English law for that.
Yeah, and America too. No, it's like a little. It's smaller than a finger. It's like a 2-inch knife. But back in the day, though, in the 1900s, a man would always have to carry a sword on him. Part of that religion, like a big sword.
Didn't they legalize open carrying swords in Texas a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know in California, where I live, you can carry a sword.
Wow.
I carry a sword under my trench coat when I go and fight other immortals.
If you can't have a concealed sword. It has to be out in the open.
Okay. Cool.
No concealed sword.
I had a pair of nunchucks on me once when I was sitting in the middle of the park in the middle of the night, and the cops told me to hide it so they don't get. I won the nunchucks in a party that I went to, and they said that and they were a pair of rainbow nunchucks.
It's
I
true.
have no idea what your life is like. I don't understand anything about you.
At the Ren Fair.
You're going to nunchuck parties. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Every time you reference a story, it was always when you were 14. What happened when you were 14? It was just your entire life. I don't understand anything here.
They were fun. They were fun friends. I really owe them. Also, at that party, I got the clackety teeth thing with with feet on it that you wind up, and I won that for being most loquacious.
Okay.
Loquacious?
I could have won that for spelling loquacious.
They were fun friends.
The word loquacious just makes me hungry for loquats. It's a tasty fruit.
Well, that's a cool atomic model Data has in his behind Troy.
Where is it? Oh,
it's the spiky planet thing. Spiky solar system.
They look at neutrons.
The spiky solar system?
Yeah.
That's science. That's really
That's
cool.
what I'm talking about. The computer gives a response, waits a few seconds, and then lists off every single other thing it could be.
Yeah, they severely underestimated computers.
No, because I was Googling the name of German cities, and all kinds of stuff was coming up. I'm doing a video on church history during the time of Luther. So, but the thing is though, there's Mentz, California. There's all these disambiguations that come up when you start looking for foreign names. So this is accurate. Please stop insulting the computer on the Enterprise.
I am not insulting it. I love the computer on the Enterprise. I love her voice.
Yeah. But they're working hard, by the way. This is hard work for Starfleet officers, guys.
It's not that hard. You're just using Google.
Can you imagine every time Troy has problems with the computer, she's like, "Okay, Mom."
I was gonna say, talking to it to do every little thing would be so annoying. Just give me a mouse already.
Chateau 3. Okay, here's my favorite line of the episode, where Troy. There it is. Why does it have to be so wordy?
Yeah.
How many takes?
Because it has to sound cool. Because it's sci-fi.
Just use the and operator. Wait, when did you get a blue shirt? Where did that come from?
It was under.
It was underneath.
It was always under. The blue-gray shirt was always under it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always under the casual attire jacket. It's nice. Apparently, there's two different jackets. There's the one in this episode, and then there's a slightly different one after.
Yo, this episode is just the suspense. You're like, what is going on? Why are the cliffs growling?
The hills are alive with the sound of anger.
And then we cut to commercial, so you gotta wait 5 minutes for the thing to come back. And you're like,
Damn.
What are they doing? Well, what is this? They just have you in suspense the whole episode.
The best cuts to commercial are when they come back and they act like they have actually been standing there for 5 minutes waiting for something to happen.
Yeah. And by the way, the
okay,
rocks
now
are
we
just
can
rolling.
start the plot again.
The rocks are rolling down the hill, guys.
It's very spooky. Yeah, this is definitely the scene from Attached. That cliff.
Even the Enterprise doesn't know what this is. We don't know what this is. Picard doesn't know what this is.
It's a variable induction field, possibly a life form.
But what is this?
It's a possible induction field, possibly a life form.
All right, that's what I heated my food on, the induction hot plate.
We get the screen debut of Ashley Judd, her first appearance in any TV show or movie. Plays Ensign Robin Leffler. It also appeared in the episode The Game, where she has her first on-screen kiss with a young Wesley Crusher, played by Will Wheaton.
Thanks.
In 5 or 6 years, she would be one of the most famous actresses in Hollywood.
Wow.
But for now, she's a nothing ensign.
Yeah, now she's just pushing buttons, helping Geordi.
She's an extra, even. She didn't get a line, right?
Yeah.
She got a line.
I don't know if she has a line in this. She got a line.
Okay. Like you said, it was her debut, so yeah.
Yeah, but she's from a showbiz family.
How does Brian acknowledge the message then? Oh no, he's got the Tom badge, I suppose.
Look at Lieutenant O'Brien there.
Don't worry about it.
Dude is full Lieutenant Peeps.
We've never seen a villain like this in Star Trek, so we're just like,
this is really freaky.
Yeah, we don't quite see this villain either.
No,
it's true.
Funny.
The basic question: if he knew what the beast was, why did they only bring knives? Surely they bring something better than just knives to fight this thing.
For the challenge.
No, okay. Here's the other thing though. The only reason Captain Darmok here gets injured is because they try to beam off Picard, and then he's left to fend for him by himself. So the Enterprise is like messing up over here by interfering.
Yeah, they don't know that.
Yeah, but like you just got the other guy killed. So
yeah.
Hey, he started it.
Do me a favor. Don't do me any more favors.
Yeah, she's getting a lot of lines.
Like, it's very emotional.
Nothing substantial, but she has
that the other captain dies. Like, and it's something that leaves you. It makes the episode so impactful.
Yeah, it's good.
That like we achieve understanding and consensus, and we even like survive together. But you give up your life for diplomacy. You love this guy. Like, he's so
Picard's
alien
being
looking.
a little bit dim here. He was just pushed away by Dathan. He just walks back closer again.
That's a big thumb. Oh my!
Yeah.
We're only halfway into the episode, so you're allowed to be dim until the last commercial break. But the knife looks so
if that
fake.
thumb reminds you of anything, kindly do not mention specifically what it reminds you of.
The knife looks so plasticky in like retrospect.
It's a sci-fi knife.
I was going to say this, all the body language here between these two actors. Obviously, we know Patrick Stewart's theatrical background, but Paul Winfield too started most of his acting in theater production, so he definitely is cognizant of body language, big movements.
Wait, did Darmok just headbutt the invisible Gowron?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Also, why is Captain Picard so happy to just stab something?
So why do knives even affect an electromagnetic
They don't,
life form?
apparently.
Because the plastic stops the current.
They were purposefully plastic.
These knives aren't doing anything.
Your teammate's getting beat over here. Wow, that thing is really evil looking. Like, this episode is just so mysterious. That looks like the Sauron from the beginning of the Lord of the Rings.
It's like when you play a co-op video game and your friend starts lagging just when things are heating up.
His controller runs out of batteries.
Fortnite, okay. He's on Wi-Fi.
I was thinking Call of Duty Zombies, but yeah.
Yeah.
No, revive me! Ah, shit, I lagged out.
True.
Sorry, mate.
When you have lag in a game, your aim isn't jack. Like, your aim is so... You can't hit a single thing if your internet's pinging or whatever.
Kalash when it rises.
Yeah, and this guy's like, don't. We're not in the mood for talking. There's business going on down there.
Oh, how convenient. It runs away just as Picard phases back in.
Picard has a gash on his chest, though.
There's the hairy Picard chest.
Very sexy.
When the walls fell.
You know, I think I read TV Guide review or something that said Patrick Stewart made baldness sexy, and he just carries it so well.
Well, he was one year. He was kind of a controversial pick by TV Guide. They would pick a sexiest man and sexiest woman on TV, and he was the sexiest man on TV one year.
Wow.
The picture they took for the cover there was pretty damn sexy, though.
He looked great.
Let me go.
I mean, look, it's about confidence. It's not about how much hair you have.
Oh Jesus! This picture.
Thank you for saying that.
Okay, whatever I was expecting when I looked up Picard's sexiest man on TV on the TV Guide.
Wait! I'm sorry. Did Troy change? She changed outfit.
Her 4 wardrobe changes in this episode. Yeah.
This is not what I was expecting from Patrick.
Oh wow!
Look at his bicep.
He works out.
Wow.
He is ripped.
Whoa!
Did somebody send a picture of the sexy Picard?
I could put it in the chat, but I just
YouTube stream.
It's on the YouTube stream.
Gotta open it again.
I'll put it in the Discord.
Yeah, there's no triangle ships this episode.
No triangles.
I mean, I've seen it before, but I wanted to remember. Oh my! Oh my! Wait, that's Kirk's outfit from Generations.
Yeah, but I remember for Voyager they had 7 of the Women of Star Trek issue TV Guide, because TV Guide had good journalism back in the day. And
so here's alternate version. We're in the same outfit.
That's the one I was thinking of. Like Cindy Crawford was the woman pick, and then Patrick Stewart is the man pick. People
again.
People didn't think that seemed right.
Cool. That's cool. Leather jackets. Women like leather jackets, by the way.
Yeah, black ones and loud bikes. Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, you killed a cow. There's not much more masculinity that you can get than killing a cow.
You killed a docile animal that can barely even move because it's been so domesticated and fattened up.
I mean, I didn't kill it. I just clicked a button on Amazon.
On Amazon, got 2-day shipping on it. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the epitome of masculinity.
Pressing the buy now button on Amazon for 2-day shipping.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say that's why I always wear like newly killed pelts when I go out anywhere with a lady. But sometimes with blood just still on it.
Yeah.
Why does nobody wear like full on proper pelts anymore?
I'm single, by the way. I'm not sure why.
You might because you might get splashed with paint by an animal rights activist. That's why.
But if it's like a cow that you killed for meat anyway, you don't need to tan it. Just.
Oh no, I thought you meant like a mink coat or something. Or like
I mean, don't just go like shoot
scarf.
an animal just for the pelts. But if you're gonna kill it anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, I was looking up Kindle covers, and somebody wrote like, "Why would you want me to buy something in plastic? Leather is biodegradable." So on the one hand, leather is kind of better.
Oh, good! I came back just in time for the best scene.
Yep, this is where we bond.
I generally just stick with my cotton and a bit of wool. I'm happy with my plant fiber clothing.
By the way, sorry, Captain Darmok is so injured, but the second he tells him about Gilgamesh, he starts sitting like, "Wait, you're telling me a story? A mythopoetic story from your past? I'm so interested."
Actually, I do have some leather. I don't actually know if it's real leather, but my shoes are some kind of leather, whether it's faux or real.
Some kind of leather.
Some kind of leather.
Oh,
it might be real leather. It might be fake leather. It's a mystery.
Suede is a kind of leather too. So if you have anything suede,
I do not.
Yeah, a lot of shoes will have at least a leather upper, I would think.
If you have leather, you have to condition it every couple of months. So don't forget to do that, otherwise it cracks.
If you have leather boots, you have to shine them regularly.
Yeah. No, I have a leather office chair, and it's already starting to like crack up. And I'm like, should I start conditioning this? Because I haven't been doing it for like 5 years.
At this point, you're probably better off just getting a new one eventually.
Yeah.
Or patching if you have to, but
yeah.
Let's see. I'm looking at the buy page for this.
And he's wearing leather right now.
Specify whether it's real or fake leather, and since it doesn't specify, I assume it's fake.
Pleather is the term that you're looking for.
Yeah, or imitation leather. Pleather sounds tacky to people.
I mean, it just sounds weird to wear cow skin on your feet, but apparently it looks pretty good.
Man,
and
the way things have evolved clothing-wise are so bizarre to me always.
About I like to buy watches and their watch straps, and it's like everyone who sells you a watch says, "Oh man, it's grade A leather." I'm like, grade A leather is the most average kind.
Who has a watch anymore though? Do you people that have phones?
I got into it. Like since COVID started, I started buying Seiko watches because I've just developed a collection. habit.
Watch is convenient. You can just look at your wrist.
I wear a digital watch as a habit in case of CPR.
I'm obsessed with mechanical watches. I don't want quartz. I want the gears and everything.
There's a sort of artistry to it for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And the Japanese are so good too. They're better than the Swiss, actually.
There's some pretty cool mechanisms you could 3D print too, if you wanted to.
Maybe it's because I have a really small wrist, but watches have always looked really weird on me. They look too big.
Work out.
But that takes effort.
It does.
I have this thing, like, if I wear a watch, I constantly feel it. Like, we have this mechanism in our heads where wearing clothing, it doesn't feel like it's constantly touching you, and supposedly you're supposed to adjust to wearing a watch like that, but I've done it for weeks and it just never clicks for me. So I had a pocket watch for a while, but that was that kind of once smartphones became more prevalent, I kind of did away with that.
Yeah, I just find leather is the most comfortable because you even forget that you're wearing it. Whereas if you have the metal or rubber, it's still kind of there. But
yeah, I might try again with different bands. That's probably a good idea.
I mean, actually, I started wearing the Apple Watch, then I got into regular watches. But we got the story of Gilgamesh coming up. So if you haven't heard the Sumerian creation myth, now's the time.
Dating tip number 22. If you want to make a friend or a very extra special friend, then fight with them in the streets. Fight with them in the temple. And then go kill a bull together. Which was interesting. I don't know if Gilgamesh and Enkidu were dating or if they were just buds, but going and beating each other up in the middle of the street seemed to work out pretty well for them.
Picard has a copy of the collected works of William Shakespeare in his ready room, so why would he say I'm not much of a storyteller? I'm pretty sure.
Well, he doesn't tell stories; he just reads stories.
Yeah, what kind of question is that?
He's a reader, not a writer. Come on.
Okay.
I mean, we're all watching Star Trek. I'm pretty sure none of us know how to produce Star Trek.
Yeah.
I love here when Darmok sits up. He's like, "What? You got a story?"
That's Dathan.
I mean, you have to
Darmok is the story.
Considering how their language works, you have to assume that stories carry cultural significance to the whatever they're called.
Oh yeah, they're bigger storytellers than humans are.
Yep.
Here's dating tip number 23. If you're going crazy, just get a girlfriend and then you can transfer all your problems onto her. Gilgamesh and Enkidu at the Mental Institute.
Are you actually making sure that you're keeping the numbering of the tips consistent?
I think he's been pretty solid. A few. Yeah, there's some of the teens where it got a little mixed up, but
it's like the rules of acquisition. We don't actually know all of them. There's some mystery in there.
Also,
I can already predict one. I can predict dating tip number 69. Nice.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, don't let Ducat kill your girlfriend. That's another one that's coming up.
So 24.
No, that's like 609.
Favorite of Ryan, I'd like to say that
if people die under Gold Ducat, it was their own fault.
Ducat did nothing
Ryan, I'd
wrong.
like to say, do not follow these dating tips, and Ryan's edits claims no legal responsibility for anyone who follows these dating tips.
Yes, do not actually go up and beat somebody in the street and try to make friends with them that way.
These are all terrible advice.
I mean, some of them were legit. Like dating tip number whatever, just talk to them like a person.
25.
Yeah, and don't be the rebound guy. That was good.
26. Somebody's typing them up.
At my dating tips?
Clackety clack.
Furious
he goes to sleep to the
sorry.
thing.
I forget how loud my keyboard is.
Bye, Dathan.
You were one of a kind, man.
Dathan is dead.
But he died for a good cause, and that makes him immortal.
I'm pretty sure not dying makes you immortal.
Yeah.
No, but you're a legend who will never be forgotten because you made peace between your people and the Federation. So
I mean, that doesn't give you much solace because you're dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a non-literal form of immortality.
Oh, hey, Tracy.
Thanks.
Wait,
hey, Tracy.
The way Tracy's immortal.
Tracy was behind Worf. You can't see her now, but when Worf was just walking up, she was there.
I'm so disappointed in myself.
What confuses me
You always
here
have to be on the lookout for Tracy.
The captain is dead, so why are they maintaining this? It's like
because Picard is still alive.
Yeah, but
and they
the
want to kill
opportunity
him
to learn.
Well,
the
I don't
opportunity
think
to learn from each other is gone if he's dead.
I don't think they're really scanning down there. But you're right. How is this thing supposed to end?
It's a good question.
Didn't you hear what the first officer said? Kalash when it rises.
Riker explicitly says that there are, if they know that, the Temerians know it. So like, they can tell they're scanning.
Yeah. They just beamed them down. There was no plan to beam.
Oh, here comes Invisible Gowron again.
So I don't know how many of you ever watch Red Letter Media. I don't make a habit of it, but there were some Star Trek things on there that I watched, and the one guy on that channel bought the head piece from this monster in the auction.
Somebody trimmed Riker's mustache non-symmetrically.
Oh yeah, what's his name? Mike. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Mike was.
And they're like, doesn't he like wear it or they throw it around or something?
Yeah, he puts it on for the first segment.
Yeah, those guys are pretty funny.
I think it's the one where they're talking about their favorite Next Generation episodes.
Yeah, they've done several of those, and I've watched, I think, most of them, if not all of them. But yeah, I like when they talk about Star Trek because he's very passionate about it for sure.
Yeah.
So this is how it was supposed to end, where they beam up their captain and he talks to them in their language.
Wow, they're matching our impulse thrusters.
I wonder how they teach their kids how to swim. Do they just throw them in the deep end?
Apparently.
Fish, when their fins move.
Okay, I'm sorry. I cannot stop noticing Riker's non-symmetrical mustache.
The lights went dark.
Oh, thank you. Now it's better. Ah, there we
You should
go.
have beamed directly to the bridge. They could have avoided 30 seconds of firing.
Yeah. But I mean, the transporter lock was so hard that like they needed to use the transporter room because that's where all the buffers are.
Supposedly, site-to-site transportation is riskier.
Yeah. Because you could beam into a wall.
The beast of Tanagra? Uzani, his army. Shaka when the walls fell.
On the ocean.
On the ocean.
This is like such an awesome moment. Like, I always remember this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Your guy's dead.
And it's your fault.
Does that mean they just invented a new, like, entire means of expression for these people?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How their language grows, yeah.
It's like adding a word to the dictionary, but, like, so much more complex.
You know when he says with sails unfurled, I realize that when we say farewell, we call the Phoenicians a seafaring society. You know, we call the Federation a spacefaring society. So to fare means literally to sail. So when you say farewell, you're saying, happy sailing.
Happy rails, partner.
Fair,
That's the thing,
FARE
like,
is also an English word for it.
sorry.
Just how you actually end up being. So to
Yeah.
fare well is to do well, essentially.
Mm.
I was going to say they're adding to their language, like when the word twerk was added to the dictionary. Same thing.
Of course.
I just noticed that the Enterprise has the port and starboard lights.
Yes.
Red and green. That's nice.
And Picard gets another toy to add to his collection of alien artifacts. He gets the flute, he gets the knife, he gets a bunch of stuff. He gets that weird Russian nesting doll.
Does he ever keep the horror gun from Ryza?
Jamar.
I know Riker has one in his quarters.
Request several.
Jeez.
I think the one that Riker has is probably the one that Picard brought him from Risa.
Yeah, he didn't know.
Because when you're using the Horgon, the first thing you want to think of is Patrick Stewart.
Don't throw
He helps me in my hardest moments.
All right, let's leave that conversation there. I think that joke is done.
Jeez.
Man, the gravitas of this episode, regardless of what was just said a second ago, is like so heavy.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a good episode.
It's definitely one of the best.
Yeah.
Easily in my top 5 of the entire series.
Easily. And look, he keeps the knife as a memento right next to the flute.
Yep, he keeps his knife, he keeps his flute, he keeps the nesting doll.
And we get the shot from outside the ready room, which is very few. I think like best of both worlds was like, we got it.
And he has his desk crystal.
And the fish, the lionfish.
Where did you get the lionfish?
The Riker Googling tweet, Darmok and Jalad at Mardi Gras.
Wow.
The lionfish, where is it from?
He didn't get it from anything, it's just always been there.
Are you sure?
He just has a fish.
Alright, I trust you. I trust you on that
one. It's never
one.
explained. And Patrick Stewart
I know
is
that Jellicoe gets rid of the fish.
Yeah. Patrick Stewart is also like a strong animal rights activist and hated having a fish on set because he didn't want it to just be there for the sake of a decoration.
Oh, next week is Ensign Rowe.
Ooh, right.
Tomorrow is Apocalypse Rising with Martok and Gowron. And the ship, where they find a crashed Jem'Hadar ship and they have to, like, hold it until the Dominion goes away.
Man, you're really making me want to join your Deep Space Nine adventures.
Please. Good episodes.
You said Gowron, okay? You said Gowron, and for me that's an instant turn on.
There's Gowron. Oh, there's Gowron. And there's also Looking for Parmok in All the Wrong Places, which we've already watched on Valentine's Day. We're watching it again, where Worf tries to get a girlfriend, fails, and then gets a better girlfriend.
It's because we're all still looking for Parmok in the wrong place.
Is that when Worf and Jadzia start dating?
Yeah.
You might even say he was looking for Parmok in all the wrong places.
He was.
Yeah.
And then Parmok found him.
This is getting deep, man.
And then the third one?
That was the third one. Apocalypse Rising, the ship, and Parmok.
The ship? What's
the ship? Where they find the crashed Jem'Hadar ship, and the Jem'Hadar are very unhappy about it.
Right. It's a hot negotiation.
And there's the Vorta lady.
Right.
Whose name I don't know.
Sisko has this line where he's like,
she doesn't matter.
Crying, and he's like, if we had just trusted each other.
Yeah, you and your armed men surrounding us. But
yeah.
And then for TNG is next week is I guess we'll do that tomorrow. But
Ensign Rowe and Disaster, and between them there's
Silicon Avatar.
Yeah.
Yay! Wow. Evil,
with some space murder. The nice lady comes on and murders a space creature.
Mm-hmm. And tomorrow we get Gowron going, glory to you and your house.
So fucking awesome.
It's all about Gowron and his eyes.
Thank you, Ryan.
So I'll just choose my time.
Thank you, everyone. Good night. Good night.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Morning lectures as usual.
I guess since we just watched Darmok, I have to end the stream with Marab with sails unfurled. Chenzat Court, the Court of Silence.
Wow. Wow.
Thanks.
Shock out when the walls fell.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks, P-Felon. Soma.
All right. Later. Right on, guys. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.